that we are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African. Nigga, you a lying motherfucker. Nigga talking about we Africans.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn to morning dew, then you let's face it, baby, you know all the places, my places, your place, my place, your place, my place, just face it, no one knows my places like you do, your places like I do. Like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at yours next.
Yeah. These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then, we thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off, told her don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew, been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these rings for? So don't question what God doing, who you live for. Start accepting who you are and what you do it for. Doing less, doing more, it's really either or. Meet them halfway when one close, here go another door. Here go your dreams, what you running for? Head full of steam, cause you want it, huh? But it's in your genes, you was born a star. Yeah, damn, we done came far. The blessings soon pay off. I don't get a day off. Feel like the playoffs, they like, when y'all gon' take off? Dale got laid off, now we focused on trademarks. We just making hits after hits, no Adolf. Now they wanna eat off the same plate that I ate off. They really be brainwashed, I sold ain't for trade-offs. Listen to these verses, these are thoughts that I brainstorm. People do me wrong, but nowadays I just pray for them. I've been under pressure, you can't tell cause I stay calm. I need peace and quiet, all I hear is the rain falls. Now all I see is green like my name was Draymond. ISO the brand and you know we gon' rain on. Shout out to the fans from the jump that stayed on. Rolling every hour of the day till the pain gone. Now every time we drop, yeah, they know that is napalms. Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far away I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself. Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Oh yeah, hey now. I don't know how this came back up. This phone got a mind of its own. Hi y'all. What's good? Hey now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching. Smash the like button. Oh, Yolanda, thank you, love. You're beautiful too. Matter of fact, all my Aboriginal American Indian sisters across these Americas, North, Central, and South America, are beautiful goddesses. And that's a fact. That's why everybody want to be with us, because we're beautiful, right? Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Going through some things, and my wife family just a few days. We're just going through. Oh man, we got to set up some prayers for brother Choctaw, Montana. My goodness, it never stops, brother. I love you, brother, and my prayers I will send up massive prayers to the ancestors, to the Most High God, for a quick healing of your family, for your family during these times. My condolences to you, brother. I am so humbly sorry. I am. I am so humbly sorry. My prayers to you. We all going through some tragic mess here on these here lands. Salute, big dog Philly OG. Y'all throw up some praying hands real quick for brother Choctaw, Montana. Throw up some praying hands, please, for our brother. That's a sign or symbol to our ancestors, the Most High God, to heal his family during these tragic times. It's horrible. Send up some praying hands in the chat, please. Love you, brother. Reach out to me this evening if you can when I'm off, please. Big dog Philly OG, Carlos X, salute, love. Yolanda, Sister Love. Let's see who else we got here. JM Legacy, JM3 Legacy, honor, brother. C. Roberts, honored to you. Key Norfolk, hey, bro. Stinky butt. Hey, none of your business. Hey, now. What's going, girl? Hey, Stephanie. Oh, man. Anthony L. Pickens Jr. Hey, bro. I was just talking about you. D. Allen Warren. Love you, bro. Shout out to everybody watching. So I've got share screens and some slides that I'm going to display up here. I want to go through some legal stuff. I want to read about it, sharing it for what I learned. Certified Sachi. Hey, thank you, brother. And so is our Pookie and Ray Rays. Yes, they are. Thank you, Certified Sachi. Hey, y'all, you hear what Certified Sachi said? Salutes, North American women are the best of all. Look at there. Hey, now. It feels much better when it comes from our men. I'm serious, and that's a fact. So let's get into what's been done to us. Hey, Alibaba Roo. Hey, bro. Let's get into today what's been done to us historically, legally, fraudulently, identity theft. Let's get into that, what it actually is. And then we're going to look at some other things that I have in the back packed up. So I'm going to do a share screen now so we can get on into this. Let me see. Let me do my my window. I think it's right here. Yes, this is it. Oh, no, I guess that's not it. That's not it. That's not the one. Now, where the hell did it go? La 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 la. Oh, here it is. I got it up. And I hope I can make this a little bit bigger. I got it up right now. Let's get into something. That's not it. Smash that like button, y'all, and share. Because we need to go over some things. So I hope this is big enough. I'll try and make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can make this bigger, 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 bigger. Let me go into my view. Let's zoom it in. I got it at 155. Let's try 175. See what that does. Okay, I got it at 175. All right. So let's talk about a few things that I found, and I know for a fact is what's going on, or that has gone on and continues to go on to this date from the invasion of our lands here. Okay. All abuse of power continues to go on these here land masses of our ancestors. So let's talk about what the color of law is first. Acts under acts, okay? Acts, the things that happen. Acts under color of any law includes acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within the bounds or limits of their lawful authority, but also acts done without and beyond the bounds of their lawful authority, provided that in order for unlawful acts of any official to be done under color of law, the unlawful acts must be done while such official is purporting or pretending to act in the performance of his or her official duties. Let that sink in. I'm going to read it again. Acts. Understand who officials are. Understand who officials are. Officials are appointed, state appointed positions, federal appointed positions. Okay? Political appointed positions. Positions, period. In any federal, state, or local offices. And this also includes 501c3s that are connected with or contracted with or is in scope with state and federal agencies or local officials. You better understand this. Acts under color of any law includes acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within the bounds or limits of their lawful authority, but also acts done without and beyond the bounds of their lawful authority, provided that in order for unlawful acts of any official to be done under color of any law, the unlawful acts must be done while such official is purporting or pretending to act in the performance of his or her official duties. When you go to work every day and you are in the scope of your employment, you are purporting and pretending to act in the performance of his or her official duties. Understand this. Legal definition under color of state law. To act under color of state law means to act beyond the bounds of lawful authority. You better believe any act done evil by state officials who know the truth of our history, but continues to falsely rewrite, overwrite, update, change in the means of their acting beyond the bounds of lawful authority. Who gave you the lawful authority to update, change, modify, reclassify the Aborigines, American Indians of these land masses? Who gave you the power to act beyond the bounds of your authority? Who? Who told you to write lies about my history here? The legal definition under color of state law covers not only acts done by an official under a state law, but also acts done by an official under any ordinance of a county or municipality of the state, as well as acts done under any regulations issued by any state or county or municipality official, and even acts done by an official under color of some state or local custom. To act under color of state law means to act beyond the bounds of lawful authority, but in such a manner that the unlawful acts were done while the official was purporting or pretending to act in the performance of his official duties. In other words, the unlawful act must consist of an abuse or misuse of power, which is possessed by the official only because he is an official. When can a person be found guilty of under color of state law? A person may be found guilty even though he was not an official or employee of the state or of any county, city, or other governmental unit if the essential elements of the offense charge have been established and the person was a willful participant with the state or its agents in the doing of such acts. Y'all better listen here. Misuse of power possessed by virtue of state law and made possible only because the wrongdoer is clothed with the authority of state law is action taken under color of state law. United States versus Classic 313, United States 299326 in 1941. Look it up. I ain't got time for all that. What happens when a person is found guilty under color of state law? Every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia, subjects or causes to be subjective any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceedings for redress. 42 of the United States Code, Section 1983, 1988. Again, what happens when a person is found guilty of undercolor of state law? Every person under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for redress. Deprivation of rights under color of law. Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution of laws of the United States. I think you need to hear that again. Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime. We're on the damn crime scene. We've been on the crime scene. For a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. For the purpose of Section 242, acts under color of law include acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within their lawful authority, but also acts done beyond the bounds of that official's lawful authority. If the acts are done while the official is purporting to or pretending to act in the performance of his or her official duties. Persons acting under color of law within the meaning of the statute include police officers, prison guards, and other law enforcement officials, as well as judges, care providers, and public health facilities, and others who are acting as public officials. It is not necessary that the crime be motivated by animus toward the race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin of the victim. Nope. You just need to be in the scope of your goddamn duties, performing these acts acts on a day-to-day basis. Oh, it's a crime scene. The offense is punishable by a range of imprisonment up to life term or death penalty, depending on the circumstances of the crime and the resulting injury, if any. But states that, of course, have the death penalty. My state don't. Connecticut, they got rid of it. Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 242. Whoever under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be fined under the title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both, and if bodily injuries results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threatened use of a dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such act include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years for life or both, or may be sentenced to death. And that depends on if your state exercises the death penalty. Now, I want y'all to let that sink in while I go on my ladies' room break. I'm on the crime scene, and I got to let the water go. I'll be right back. Give me a minute, y'all. Stop the share screen for a minute. And let me put you to some music. I want y'all to keep that in your head, okay? And I'll be right back. I'm going to give you a little music till I run to the ladies' room. Let's give you a little music. Why is this thing acting so dumb today? Give you a little music. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. Thanks. I needed that little break. All right, so we're gonna get back right. We just gonna get right back to it. Let's go to our next crime scene. Let's go to our next issue that was found on that's on the crime scene right now. It's the yellow tape is all around the whole crime scene around the whole goddamn United States. We got it surrounded with yellow tape right now. Let's go, y'all. All right, where are we? Here we go, y'all. All right. So now we got the color of law. Now we're going to get into fraud. And y'all keep that in y'all's heads now. Now listen here, honey. On the crime scene, I got my notepad out. I'm snapping pictures and pulling shit off the sites before they try to take them shits down and fix it. Too late. I already snapped it and got the date and everything that you put it up. So don't go in there and try to insert shit now and correct it because you're busted right on the crime scene. Let's get into fraud. Fraud is both a civil tort and criminal wrong. In civil litigation, allegations of fraud might be based on misrepresentation of fact that was either intentional or negligent. For a statement to be an intentional misrepresentation, the person who made it must either have known the statement was false and been reckless as to its truth. Oh, let's read that again. In civil litigation, allegations of fraud might be based on a misrepresentation of fact that was either intentional or negligent. For a statement to be an intentional misrepresentation, the person who made it must either have known the statement was false or been reckless as to its truth. The speaker must also intended that the person to whom the statement was made would rely on it. Oh my goodness. This crime scene is hot, stanky, and funky. The hearer, those with ears, must then have reasonably relied on the promise and also been harmed because of that reliance. Yo, last I checked, you was told you came from Africa and you're an African American. Tell me how you've been harmed for relying on something that was told to you by this government, state governments, these educational system, college institutions, these 501c3, these historical societies. Don't play with me on the crime scene. Y'all are under arrest. A claim for fraud based on a negligent misrepresentation differs in that the speaker of the false statement may have actually believed it to be true. So there goes your dumbass indoctrinated ministers and dumb people, college professors like Jabari and his whole crew with their degrees. However, the speaker lacked reasonable grounds for that belief. A promise that goes unfulfilled may give rise to a claim for fraud only under particular circumstances. For example, in California law, a false promise is only fraudulent if the promiser intended both not to perform on the promise and also that the promise would rely on the promise. And the promisee must have reasonably relied on the promise and been harmed as a result of the reasonable reliance. When the promise was made as part of a contract, most states forbid a plaintiff from recovering under both contract law and tort law. Lastly, opinions are not usually actionable as fraud except under very specific circumstances defined by either the common law or statutes in each state. In California, for example, a jury may be instructed that an opinion can be considered a representation of fact if it is proven that the speaker claimed to have special knowledge of the subject matter. How many of these motherfuckers out here claim to have special knowledge and got all this beautiful stuff that the listener did not have? Pookie and Ray got this information. You know they're being misguided. Or that the representation was made not in a casual expression of belief, but in a way that declared the matter to be true. Or if the speaker was in a position of trust and confidence over the listener. How many ministers do we believe? How many college professors do we believe? How many school teachers do we believe? How many historical societies do we believe? Or if the listener had some other special reason to expect the speaker to be reliable. Huh? Aren't they supposed to be reliable? Once the jury decides that an opinion qualified as a misrepresentation of fact under the circumstances, the plaintiff must still demonstrate all of the other elements of an intentional or negligent misrepresentation already described, such as reasonable reliance and resulting harm. How much more fucking reasonable can you be hearing it from your pastor and this country that instructed you to convert and die? And all those that converted or died are being led by ministers who understand that they must have converted or die to their customs. Don't play with me. And the college professors. Listen, honey, little schools. In criminal law, fraud usually takes very specific forms, such as bankruptcy fraud, credit card fraud, or healthcare fraud. California law, for example, also recognizes distinct crimes for check fraud, access card fraud, insurance fraud, and making false financial statements. Some criminal fraud statutes might be classified under laws forbidding larceny, others under forgery, and others as a crime covered by laws regarding a specific industry like insurance or banking laws. Suspicions of criminal fraud should be reported to law enforcement. Identity theft is the act of stealing another person's personal identifying information in order to gain access to his financial resources or obtain access to other benefits such as money, credit, or insurance benefits. It is sometimes referred to as identity fraud and is a crime that carries serious consequences. According to the Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act, identity theft is the knowing transfer or use without lawful authority a means of identification of another person with the intent to commit or to aid or abet any lawful activity that constitutes a violation of federal law or that constitutes a felony under any applicable state or local law. Let's stop there for a minute. Y'all with me? Smash that like button because it's we got to get funky today. Once, and this is to you, my Aboriginal American Indian, Nijis, indigenous brothers and sisters across North American landmass. Once you stand on who you are, the days are over for these foreigners to keep the Aborigines, original American of this land, in bondage. We must decree it. We must declare it. We must reject all those lies that were taught by foreigners who took over our land. Those days of these foreign enemies holding your mind in bondage is over. I plead to the blood of our ancestors over you. You will no longer listen to the voice of these enemies when you stand on who you are. You will no longer surrender to their suggestions or their rewritten books about our history. If you stand on who you are, you will no longer entertain the images that they placed in your minds. If you stand on who you are, understand that they made you, your ancestors, convert or die. That's when you know you're free from their bondage, when you understand that these foreigners made you convert or die. Our ancestors are the gods of this land, and you better believe that to the core of your being. You heard? Smash that like button and throw up some fire. Smash that like button and throw up some fire. I need to read that message to you again. I need you to feel it. I need you to accept it and understand it. I need you to understand what has been done to you historically. I need you to wake up. I need you to release and relieve yourself so you can understand who you are. Once you understand and you stand on who you are, the days are over for these foreigners to keep you, the Aborigine, the original American Indian, the original American of this land in bondage. And in order to stand on it, you must decree it. You must declare it. You must reject all those lies that were taught by the foreigners who took over our land. Those days of these foreign enemies holding your mind in bondage is over when you stand on who you are. I plead the blood of our ancestors over you. When you stand on who you are and understand who you are, you will no longer listen to the voice of these enemies. And your enemies look just like you. You will no longer surrender to their suggestions or their rewritten books about your history. You will no longer entertain the images that they placed in your minds through media, through social, through TV. Understand that your And our ancestors were given an option to either convert or die. And when you understand that, that's when you know you are free from their bondage psychologically. Our ancestors are the gods of this North, Central, and South American landmass. And you better believe this to the core of your being. And I mean that. They are updating, revising, and changing historical information in 2000s. In the 2000s, they're doing this. This is why I went to all those historical state societies and made sure I downloaded everything so that they can't quickly make changes and try to correct shit. Because they intentionally and willfully done it. They were appointed as commissioners in positions to do this and to keep it going. I need you to give me a 1 if you understand this. I need a 1. I need to know if you understand this. You understand the color of law. Do you understand fraud? Do you understand identity theft in the face? I'm going to make sure that you know this and you feel this. You, every time you're laying down at night, you turn this back on and you just listen to what I read to you about what was done to our nannies and grandpas and what they were subjected to. Abuse of power, severe abuse of power from time and time and time again. These Democrats have destroyed your mind. And you better believe when this was done under the color of law, it has always been by the hands of Democrats. It was always. They have never, ever had any intentions. That's why they unacknowledged all the thousands and thousands and thousands of tribes here on North American landmass. They became unrecognized and reclassified as niggas, Negroes, blacks. You understand what was done to us. There is nobody on this goddamn planet with 8 racial classifications. What are you hiding? You must be hiding something. To reclassify one people on this entire earth planet. 8 different race classifications throughout our history. What are you hiding? You did it here on the mainland and you did it in the islands. This is a crime scene. When I tell you I pulled everything from these state historical society and these museums, it's on lock and it's in 7 different locations on disc. It's too late. I don't come out with nothing until I get it secured, and you better believe it. Jimmy, I'm here for my goddamn people. Do you understand that? And if you don't, get out my chat room until you understand that I am speaking about my people. Don't no other motherfucking country give a damn about Pookie, mama, daddy, grandma. So if that's the best you can walk up in here and fucking say, get the fuck out my chat room, nigga. You walk in my goddamn chat room talking about other countries. Get the fuck out my, y'all blast that bitch out of here. Now, moderators, get that son of a bitch. This is a crime scene. And you're interfering. Fuck out of here. You worried about them? You want to represent them? Take your ass to Asia, India, and over there where the Arabs are and help them motherfuckers. I'm talking about my landmass, god damn it. Because at the record stand, all them motherfuckers is over here on the crime scene. Get your ass out of here. Y'all whack that motherfucker, moderators. You need a timeout. Fuck off my land. I get so sick of these motherfuckers. Stupid ass motherfuckers. All right, so now I pulled some things from the different historical societies, state historical societies, and different museums. And it's a whole database of all the 50 states of when these so-called Africans, Americans, African Americans came here from each state. When did they get here from Africa? The replacement story. I'm just going to go through the A's. I did all 50 states in alphabetical order, but I'm going to go through A through D. And I'm not going to do the whole database, and then I'm going to point out some things. There's so much more to point out. So let's get into it. This particular document. Let's go up to the top. This shit is hilarious. It gets funnier every goddamn day. So much. All right, let's go. I did so many states, so I copied and pasted in here just specifically. All right, where are you guys? All right, let's go. I feel like Amina today. Get your dumb ass out of here. And if you are who I think you are, don't call my motherfucking phone. For real. Matter of fact, don't nobody call my phone and send me no goddamn text. Because I'm going to have my chiefs check your ass. No more messages. No more texts. Leave me alone. All right. So in Alabama, here's what the historical societies are saying. This shit is hilarious. Black slave. Let me make it bigger. I do need to zoom it in. Where are we at now? Well, 155. Let's go to 180. Alabama. Black slaves arrived, okay, in present-day Alabama during the 18th and early 19th century in Mississippi Territory. All right? Black slaves in Alabama, y'all. So they're talking the 17 and 1800s is when black slaves arrived in present-day Alabama. during the late 18th and early 19th century in Mississippi territory. Yo, Brother Sanchez, Ali Bamu, all got to be fucking laughing right now. This is in their fucking historical society. I'm not, you know what? In the 1700s, well, no niggas. They ain't get here until the 18th and 19th century in Mississippi territory. Black slaves. Yo, get your fucking laugh out. At the time of the 1800 census, there were 517 black people in the Alabama portion of the Mississippi territory, with 494 slaves and 23 free blacks. Ship carrying over 100 enslaved Africans arrived in Alabama despite the ban on slave trafficking. Get your fucking laugh on. Yo, I can't. Then they got a whole fucking story about it. Y'all, are y'all listening to this shit? They are literally saying that black people didn't get in Alabama until the 1700s and the 1800s. And in Alabama, they only have 494 slaves and 23 free black people. Get your fucking laugh on. These historical societies are got to be checked at the motherfucking door. Right in our history. In Alaska, keep this all in your head, y'all. The Inuit are native people of the Arctic regions. They live in Greenland, Alaska, Canada, and eastern Russia. Okay, y'all? They have different names for themselves, but they prefer to be called Inuit. Europeans and others called them Eskimo for hundreds of years, but that term is considered offensive. The Aleut are a native people of the Aleutian Islands, which are part of Alaska. They also live on the western portion of the Alaska Peninsula, a piece of land in southwestern Alaska that extends into the Pacific Ocean. The name Alaska comes from the Aleut word meaning mainland. The Aleut are closely related to the Inuit. The Aleut's early ancestors, the Paleo-Aleut, arrived in the Aleutian Islands from the Alaskan mainland about 4,000 years ago. So these motherfuckers came here. So how the hell are you going to be Aboriginal when you came here 4,000 years ago? This is a historical society, y'all. You can't make this shit up. This is a crime scene. Traditionally, the Aleut lived off the sea. They fished and hunted animals such as seals, sea otters, whales, sea lions, and walruses. The Aleut kept their traditional way of life until Russian settlers arrived in the 1700s. Conditions were harsh under Russian control, and many Aleutians died from disease of warfare. At the end of the 20th century, which is the 1900s, fewer than 12,000 Aleutians lived in the United States. Y'all get your motherfucking laugh off. And if you want to go see what they look like the same damn ones running some of these let me not even get there. But look them up and go look at their faces. You're gonna fucking laugh. Here we go, Arizona. Here we go. African Americans in Arizona, yo, in their historical society, yo, you can't make this shit up. African Americans. The slave system was not adopted by most of the Western communities. Slavery did exist, however, in the early Mormon colonies. Y'all hear that? The slave system was not adopted by most of the Western communities. Slavery did exist, however, in the early Mormon colonies. Slaves and freed, listen, y'all, slaves and freed African Americans were among the groups who followed Brigham Young to Utah. They were made members of the church, and Mormon religious doctrine supported the institution of slavery. They were made members of the church, and Mormon religious doctrine supported the institution of slavery. They were also African American explorers. Yo, there were also African American explorers and trappers on the western frontier. There were also African American explorers on trappers on the western frontier. French and English trappers often included Africans as they explored many of the West rivers and mountains. Thought to have a pacifying effect with the Indians, American fur traders also got a Negro, yo, to help trade with tribal people for furs they sold to the markets in the East. Yo, run that shit back. Run this shit back. French and English trappers included Africans as they explored many of the West rivers and mountains. All right. Thought to have a pacifying effect with the Indians, American fur traders also got a Negro to help trade with tribal people for furs they sold to markets in the East. One of the more famous is James Beckwourth, a mountain man who repeatedly crossed the Mississippi River, the Southwest, and the Rockies. He discovered a pass through the Sierra Nevada mountains that still bears his name. Yo, you know what? You can't make this shit up. That nigga. So there's a difference between a Negro and an African. They're black Europeans. Are the Africans black Europeans? Yo, y'all make this shit make sense off their historical society. Is this misrepresentation of what? Is this fraud? Is this, under the color of law, abuse of power? How dare you put this shit out there? They went always got a Negro. It says, thought to have a pacifying effect with the Indians, American fur traders always got a Negro to help trade with the tribal people for furs they sold to markets in the East. Yo, throw up some motherfucking fire. They need that Negro. Oh, they need your ass, Jesse. Arkansas, yo, this shit gets funnier. Historical societies. The first people enslaved by Europeans entered what was to become Arkansas in about 1720. When settlers moved in the John Law Colony on land given to them on the lower Arkansas River by the King of France, the Law Colony failed within 2 years, but a small number of inhabitants, including some who probably were enslaved, remained in the area for the rest of the French and Spanish territorial periods. Niggas, all right? In the first official U.S. census of Arkansas as the District of Louisiana in 1810, the census takers found, y'all listen, 188 slaves, and a total population of 1,062 people. The development of this area and its creations as Arkansas's territory in 1819 spurred a rapid growth in the enslaved population. By 1820, it had risen to 1,617. These trends continued through the territorial period and up to the Civil War. By 1830, Reconstruction period, the enslaved population reached 4,576, then 19,935 in 1840, and then 447,100. You can't make this shit up, in 1850, and 111,150 in 1860. And the enslaved population grew. It also constituted a larger and larger portion of the total population, growing from 11% in 1820 to 25% in 1860. Y'all throw up some fire. This shit is hilarious in their goddamn historical society. So they implanted all these niggas that wasn't already there. I'm done. California. I'm just gonna do this quick because this shit is even more hilarious. When you know goddamn well California was part of Mexico. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just gonna read it for the funny shit on the motherfucking historical society sites. Slavery and the gold rush. White Southerners brought black slaves into the California mines as early as the summer of 1849. Slave owners and slaves came primarily from western U.S. states, Texas, Mississippi, Missouri, Arkansas. White colonists from the southern and eastern United States brought their systems of organized slavery to California. Organized employment. Several thousand free and enslaved people of African ancestry were part of the California Gold Rush. 1845 to 1855, y'all. This shit will get. I'm telling you, they bought the guys to go and look in the gold mines, greedy motherfuckers. I'm telling y'all, only way you gonna know where that shit is from. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. Colorado. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle in what is now Colorado. Conquistador Juan de Oñate founded an extensive Spanish territory in 1598, parts of which included modern-day Colorado. Here we go with this shit. We talking in 1859, 1598. Most African Americans who fled the South settled in Kansas, Colorado, and Oklahoma because those states were an opportunity for not only land ownership due to the Homestead Act, but also where they could build their own communities. Y'all, there's so much I can say about each one of these individual states. You figure it out. African Americans. African Americans in the 1598, y'all. Go ahead now. Connecticut. Now check this shit out. My state. Slavery in Connecticut dated back to the mid 1600s. By the American Revolution, Connecticut had more enslaved Africans than any other state in New England. Let that sink in your head, all right? And Connecticut is only an hour long from between getting from New York to another damn state, Massachusetts. Slavery in Connecticut dated back to the mid 1600s. By the American Revolution, Connecticut had more enslaved Africans than any other state in New England. In the mid 1770s, okay, there were about 5,100 slaves in Connecticut colony, and they comprised approximately 3% of the population. Yo, get your fucking laugh off with the governors, okay? Okay? 3% does not sound like a big number, but 5,100 does. It was then perfectly legal to participate in the slave trade, to buy and sell enslaved people, and to own them. Y'all. I'm telling you, the crime scene gets bigger and bigger every time you read these updated, rewritten. Yeah, honey, DK Wilson. Listen, the more you read the historical society's bullshit, the bigger the crime scene. We about to run out of the yellow tape, y'all, at the crime scene. We done ran out of the damn yellow tape. We got to put up the red tape now. We need some extensions. Smash the like button, y'all. I ain't finished. Let's go through this shit. Let's go through the other bullshit. Cause I'm trying to keep it, cool. Now you know damn well the Pequots told you their story of where they went. All right. So first, let's read about, and y'all remember we read about Alabama. Here's a fucking sign. I kid you not. Let me stop this for a minute. Fair use. And Montgomery's slave markets. The city's slave market was at the Artesian Basin Court Square. Slaves of all ages were auctioned, along with land and livestock, standing in line to be inspected. Public posters advertised sales and included gender, approximate age, first name. Slaves did not have last names. We know the Indians didn't. Neither did the Indians. Yo, y'all, all right, let me finish because this crime scene, skill, price, complexion, and owner's name. In the 1850s, able field hands brought $1,500. Skilled artisans, $3,000. In 1859, the city had 7 auctioners and 4 slave depots. One at Market Street, Dexter Avenue, and Lawrence, another at the corner of Perry and Monroe, and 2 on Market between Lawrence and McDonough. Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce, Historical Preservation and Auction Foundation. Alabama Historical Association. This shit was put up. If you look down to the right, 2001. I'm fucking done. 2001, y'all. You can't make this shit up. 2001, that sign was up. Y'all, you can't make this shit up. Crime scene. Under the color of law. Like Dane said, somebody's lying. I just read you those few states. I got all 50 historical societies information. But I just read to we got to Connecticut. Reading this, and this is just consistent across the states, y'all. These historical societies and these museum openers. None of their shit matches Benjamin Franklin. None of the shit they're saying. And since detachments of English, this is Benjamin Franklin's note, y'all. Primary source. And since detachments of English from Britain sent to America will have their places at home so soon supplied and increased so largely here, why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements and by herding together establish their language and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of Anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion? That right there tells you that because they asked us was niggas, black Europeans, because they were white. And 24 says, which leads me to add one remark. Mind you, Africa during this time that he wrote this shit was not, you know what, let me keep going. That the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers. Holy so. Like everybody in America was niggas. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. Look it up. Swarthy. As are the Germans also. The Saxons only accepted, who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers are increased. And while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light in the eyes of inhabitants in Mars or Venus, why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people? Why increase the sons of Africa? Why? By planting them in America. Why bring all the fucking Africans to America? All these niggas here. The whole America is black. So why we gonna bring more niggas here? More darkies. By planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasing the lovely white and red. Perhaps I am partial, meaning biased, to the complexion of my country. For such kind of partiality, biasm, is natural to mankind. So, of course, I want all my goddamn people here. Throw up some fucking fire because the amount of Africans they saying they brought over here, African Americans, y'all get your fucking laugh on. All right? Get your laugh on. They're telling you America is wholly so. When you talking America, you're talking North, Central, and South. All niggas, all these niggas. So if it was all niggas here, those was the Indians. Stupids, idiots. If all of America is wholly so, who do you think was in America? The Indians, the Aboriginals, all these niggas. Too many of us. That's all he's saying. Oh, all these niggas over here. Why we gonna bring more from Africa? Why increase them? Fire, please. That's what they say. Now we gotta get some more white people over here that look like us. America's already wholly so with niggas. If there was only niggas here, that's the Indians that was here. The unrecognized tribes. Oh, you think they're going to tell you that at the crime scene? Or do we got to step to the premises in district court and slap them with Benjamin Franklin? Too many motherfuckers on the crime scene trying to rewrite shit. And so, Jabari, with your dumb ass, indoctrinated ass, but like it says, you might not have really known it because you're indoctrinated with your college degrees and stuff. You and the ding dong that be on the panel praising your ass. Well, let's just talk about it for a minute. The Barbados slaves. Where did they come from? The production of sugar required and skilled hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans. Yo, get your fucking laugh on, y'all. You can't make this shit up. So, between 1748 and 1788, over 1,200 ships brought over 335,000 enslaved Africans to Jamaica, Britain's large sugar producing colony. Listen, let me finish it first. Barbados was the birthplace of British slave society and the most ruthlessly colonized by Britain's ruling elites. They made their fortunes from sugar produced by an enslaved, disposable workforce. And this great wealth secured Britain's place as an imperial superpower and caused untold suffering. The Barbados slaves came from Sierra Leone, Guyana, Ghana, the Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Cameroon. Many slaves did not survive this journey from Africa, but many thousands still reached their destination. The Barbadians dominated the Caribbean sugar industry in these early years, yo. So now, this is where they're saying where all the slaves came from, and they fucking left out. All right, the American Indians. Oh, they brought niggas over there. They left out the American Indians now. Now you're gonna know how it really got populated. American Indians. During the war, New England colonies routinely shipped American Indians as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, the Azores, Spain, and Tangier in North Africa. Yo, y'all, around 1,500 Pequot warriors were killed in battles and hunted down, and others were captured and distributed as slaves or household servants. Talking in Connecticut, y'all. A few escaped to join the Mohawk and the Niantic tribes along island. Eventually, some returned to their traditional lands. You're damn right, they got the casino up now. Where family groups of friends, Pequots, had stayed. And those that returned, here you go. One, return Pequot. Return Pequot, Foxwoods. Return Foxwoods. Return to Foxwoods. Yo, Chief of Foxwoods. All returned from Barbados. Listen. And Bermuda. Yo, I can't with these fools. We're at the biggest ass crime scene in the world. Again. This made up shit. They told you all them people came from Africa, but they ain't tell you about the Indians they brought up there. You better believe. They told you where they took the Pequots, Africa. What? The same thing happened to the Indians. This is why I'm telling you that the story they're saying for these African Americans happened to the Aboriginals. They sent them to the same damn place. Fire, please. Like I said, Jabari, and you and that punk ass idiot. Talking about I'm changing shit. No, their historical societies is telling you this. You're putting African on the Aboriginals. They sent them to the same fucking place. Psych. You inserted an African story about my ancestors' history. You know damn well you sent my ancestors to the sugarcane islands from North America during the wars. They populated them shits. And when you wake up and stand on who you are, nothing will ever make you change your mind about your history. We're on a crime scene. Donate to Wire so we can get this shit popping. We need a standby lawyer. We got the money to file the lawsuit. But we may need a standby lawyer to file an appearance. So donate to Wire. Go to our website. Let me get it up so you can just continue to donate. We're always going to need to pay a lawyer. Let's get there. I didn't even put that in the chat. Here we go. I think we got it. Come on. Come on, slow machine. There we go. Copy. We ain't got time for the madness, y'all. We ain't got time. These fools lied. The historical society is with the bullshit. We got the evidence. You are in violation in the scope of your employment. You are abusing your power under the color of law. I don't give a damn. Our website is pinned to the top. Donate whatever you can so we can, in case we have to have a lawyer on standby. We might not even need one. Let's get it. We got their asses on lock. All the historical state societies are fucked. And these pan boo boos, Y'all motherfuckers are history. Wait. You just wait. You just wait. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. A matter of time. Just a matter of time, honey. When Pookie and Ray Ray walk up to y'all asses. And let me tell you something. The Hebrew Israelites, that's Pookie and Ray Ray. They just went way far back in history. But that's Pookie and Ray Ray. When they learn this is their damn land, them Hebrew Israelites, y'all motherfucking dashiki wearing motherfuckers is history. See, the Hebrew Israelite, it's their culture, it's what they believe. That's fine. But they're gonna know, yo, this is our land. And y'all little dashiki wearing motherfuckers is gonna be hanging up on somebody's clothesline. Jabari with your Barbados ass. You're finished, boy. You're finished. Don't you ever step to my throne. You play with them young ones out there, but you're playing with their heads right now, boy. You're playing with Pookie and Ray Ray's heads. I know my boys, and I feel sorry for your ass, your black ass. I do. Just a matter of time, nigga. Just like I told Sinetta's ass when he let me on the panel, and I thought we was cool. I thought we was gonna have a debate, and didn't know he was gonna call me out my bed, letting this little damn Barbadian ballhead bastard come up there and try to deceive me. Which you wasn't successful, bitch, because I got my shit. Facts. And then you turn around talking about you didn't know he was gonna do that. But just like I told you, what you do to me is gonna backfire on your ass, Sainetta. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. All you little black European boys. Mm-hmm. The same motherfuckers that tried to attack me on your panel came right after you. You fuck with me, the ancestors. Quick! That was some quick shit. All the motherfuckers turned on you. Sinetta. Your road dogs, your boys, your homeboys. Garfield. All them motherfuckers. They did you worse than me, bruh. Shit, I didn't even know what I was getting into. I was shocked. But the ancestors work fast. Very fast, Mr. Frank Gehry. Told you. I know I'm doing what my ancestors expect me to do. And the Most High God, I know I'm doing what they expect me to do. And I know they guide me at night. They let me rest. And then I wake up and I work. And when I say I'm coming for y'all monkey motherfuckers, I'm coming for you. Yes, you that black gorilla that came on the panel talking about you came from a monkey. That's cool. Back to the monkey man you go. My ancestors ain't about no monkey business, bro. You need to kill that shit. And I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all niggas do look like monkeys. Apes and gorillas. Yep, you do. Ain't even gonna lie. I know I'm copper colored. My neck and face is all one color. Smooth. Copper colored. I love the skin I'm in. And I don't wear makeup. I wear lipstick and eyeliner. No makeup on my skin, baby. I don't do that shit. I never could. It makes me itch. This is the real deal Holyfield, baby. Natural. So I know I was here when these damn fools got here. under the color of law. Oh, there's more. I can't give it all to you. I can't. Because this lawsuit goes down. I'm going to open my panel, as I always do. And I would love to hear your feedback on this. Because this shit is funny. It really is. These historical societies are clowns, man. They don't know how the iota of how they fucked up. The same, like I said, the same thing that you're hearing they did to the Africans, they did to the aboriginals of this landmass. So they need to insert a story that will kill all the unrecognized tribes that didn't go with their bullshit. And all the unrecognized tribes here in the Americas, that's wholly so, that Benjamin Franklin talks about, are those that they classified. They're the aborigines from this soil. Only the suckers went in with them. But the aborigines to this soil, they classified them, blacked them out, gave them 8, 9 fucking race identities, called them Negro, and Obama brought his African-American ass. Okay, now you got one. Remove the Negro. Nah, money grip. You can't move shit that's already there. That shit is still on our records. Boy. Negro. Colored. Black. All that shit is still on our records. Nigga. So, I'm going to open up the panel. I'll give you a little bit to get up here. I want to go grab something to drink. Let's see. I will put the link in the chat. Where is it? I know it's in here. I would really like to hear your feedback. Okay, that's... Ooh. Pin. There it is. It's pinned to the top. Give me a little minute if I'm not here. Y'all know, if I'm not here, just give me a minute to get back. I will let you on the panel. And in the back, you need to show your face. I'm not taking no porn bonds. I'm really not. So, I'll be right back, you guys. Dane, if you out there, step on the panel, bro. Here's my place, your face. There we go. Be right.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn to morning dew, then you feel it rushing and lose control. You don't wanna go, baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at yours next time. And you feel it freshening, lose control. You don't wanna go.
Hey, Bamu.
Chief Morning Thunder, you jamming. Your place or mine?
What's good, bro?
It's your world. I'm just a squirrel. I saw you and him walking in the pain. We turning up a notch or two. You know, if Dane doesn't come up, I certainly hope he's. I've been kind of tracking him, trying to catch him. But
yeah.
do you want to discuss just briefly what my understanding of his lawsuit? And if you could, if you'd be so kind, Queen Mother, pull up Fort Dane's, or actually the one that's being, raised against him.
Oh,
but I'd like for your
honey.
thoughts on the actual. No, not the case itself. The code. The code that's being used.
I don't know the code. Here's the thing. When it comes to Dane and Chief Holiday, Ab Power, Ab TV, Empress Holbert, all the our brothers and sisters that's YouTube content creators, I make it a truce not to ever discuss anything in a negative manner. And I know you just want the statue, but just anything relating to them. And I hope you can understand that. You know what I mean?
I can understand that, but let me ask you this way without you bringing the code up per se.
I don't even know the case. And
well, no, let me ask you this question. What is your understanding of discrimination?
Well, discrimination is being treated differently than somebody else, whether by race. It could be many different classes: sex, gender, race, marital status, your color, your creed, all that. Anything being treated differently, period.
Hey, Grand Rising, Sister
thank
Betty,
you.
Alabama.
I can read it.
Big dog.
I just want to say real quick. Can we keep it on a corporation? These religions, what this corporation have done with Sister Betty talking about. Let's keep it on a corporation act.
The minute,
Sister Betty.
Hold up. Let me just gonna be quick. What you want, bro? Because this is an Aboriginal, aka American Indian, American soil panel. And today I made it a truce that I was not arguing with anyone who identifies as African American. I have nothing for you. My ancestors don't want me around y'all.
Damn, that's too bad, Bethy.
My ancestors don't. That's the word. That's the direct order from my ancestors. They don't want me around y'all. They don't want me associating with y'all. They don't want me acknowledging y'all. They're trying, my ancestors are working on demolishing y'all. So is there anything you need to say as being the last time on this panel until you come to your senses? What do you want?
Man, I just want to say hi and peace.
Peace.
You know I love you. But you don't love me because I don't identify.
I love Big Wooly. You see this man right here? That's who I love.
You don't love anybody else? I know. I mean,
not like I love Wooly.
Of course not.
I don't love any male figures or anything with 3 legs like I love Wooly.
So you don't love Ali Bamu?
Yeah, as a brother.
Right. So you can love me as a brother.
Nah, Money Grip, you African American. I don't love African American.
Y'all see how that's crazy division.
You know what? It's bound to happen. We got to divide and we got to separate. I can't be with y'all. I can't rock with y'all. I can't. This is a crime scene, and you're on it. You're on the crime scene.
Too many of our people agree with this corporation. That has been,
I wish Dane would come on this.
You know what I mean?
Oh God,
he's one of these ones that agree with this corporation. They just regurgitate. They don't try to, look through the lies and process it. They just believe everything they were taught. Guys like this. And that's why I don't want them around me either.
That's not true, brother. I don't.
What is the benefit of perpetuating a slave narrative? Neither you, not a coincidence, YK the Truth, or King Cass has answered a direct question, and I'm only going to ask this one time, and I really don't care what your answer is, but I'm just asking you, what is the benefit to you personally of perpetuating a slave narrative?
I don't perpetuate a slave narrative. I don't believe soldiers get enslaved. In war, people get captured and put into servitude. We were prisoners of war.
As the people of this soil,
the African slave trade was not war. So come on with that bull crap. It was not war.
How wasn't it war?
We ain't even getting to this. We're talking about what this corporation.
But even if he tries to argue that, OG, the war that he's talking about takes place on African soil, then you need to go over to Africa. Now, if we want to talk about the war that takes place on our soil, maybe we can entertain a conversation with you, but you still didn't answer the question. But I'm not going to tell you, Chief, how to run your platform. I'm going to do as Philly asked me to do.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
No, I'm going to do as Philly asked me to do, to stay focused on the conversation you brought up, as you've asked us this before, to stay on topic. So the reason why I brought up 42 USC 1983, the code, is to understand whose rights are being deprived. Now, I would roll it into how an international African American museum is depriving your rights under UNDRIP and ADRIP to be the descendant of the only American. And you know why I say this, Chief Morning Thunder?
Oh, yes.
Because as an American is defined, the Aboriginal copper-colored people on this land who are constantly under attack and war and genocide. Now that warfare, if we're discussing that, the perpetuating it as African American is depriving us of the rights and our birthright to be and exist unmolested. Now, I'll yield on that for the moment. I don't know if that stays focused to the topic, but that's what I hope we're discussing. We're talking about African American museums and African American legacy stealing my Americanness, and I yield.
Now, y'all know I'm a different type of man. I'm not this, because I believe we are here. We were here. The only difference is, y'all don't want to have no connection with Africa, but I don't deny that we.
Absolutely not. Why should we?
Why should we? Cool. I'm saying you have the right, but you shouldn't hate people.
Excuse me. Did you hear me say that I hate Africans?
I mean,
or are you making an assumption because I don't want to? Are you making an assumption because I don't want to do business with them? I only want to deal with my people.
You don't want to be around with
that. And Sister Betty, you said real quick that how we've been reclassified here 8 times. He don't want to talk about us being reclassified here 8 times. He want to talk about the African story. So go over to your channel and talk about the African story. We're talking about how we've been reclassified here 8 different times and the crimes against humanity that has been done here. You go to Africa and go fight with them, brother. We're talking about here in America.
I gotta go to
and that's
Africa.
What you can't.
I was born in America, sir.
You're the one pushing the African narrative, sir.
No, I'm not.
Then why do you?
We're talking about crimes of America done here.
If you're not pushing if you're not pushing the African narrative, why do you continuously go around in YouTube communities trying to get brown, beautiful people like myself to associate with people that don't give a fuck about me?
Because they do care about you.
People, no, they don't. And people that
still the same people.
Wait a minute. These are people that will slice my neck in the name of their fake God.
Who would do that to you, Sister Betty? Stop.
Boy, don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Why are you
Why do I need to
Two-Face?
deal with them?
Why are you Two-Face coming over here when you just went over and saw Netta and scandalized and slandered very much major participants of this Aboriginal community? Because I'm not going to repeat and do
Facts,
the underhanded
I saw
crap
you.
that you do. I'm saying, as you are Two-Face, king of the flip-flop out of your own mouth. Yeah. Could you flip-flop and hippity-hop out of our community with your toxic behavior?
No, you can't stop me from being black.
No, you can be black, but I can stop you from infecting my children and grandchildren with that toxic behavior, because blackness does not exist. It is a dead state in law, and as you are constantly pontificating about whiteness and blackness and believing that slavery is attached to Africanness from birth to death. Now, all this stuff has been compiled not only in the Doctrine of Discovery, not only in Dumb Diverses, but in law here. Queen, did we not go over what they used Ruth Bader Ginsburg to state in 2005? What does the United States Supreme Court codified in the existence of this criminal enterprise?
Radical when you start talking about you don't want to be around your own people just because they're
not my people. They're not my people.
They are your people.
You're not my people.
Are here.
You're
regardless of our differences,
you ain't nobody people up here.
Regardless of our differences,
I don't care. People. They're not my people. I'm from here. I know nothing of the African.
I'm from here too.
I don't care. So you're not going to make me believe.
I'm not trying to do that.
Okay, so they're not my people.
You're still my people, though.
Problem.
You're still my people.
That's the problem. It's too many.
I love all
y'all.
You're
not my people.
I don't care. It's too many motherfuckers going around telling my people.
I got you. Hey, Lex.
Y'all should not be that angry that you just throwing away your own people.
Silence because the men. Don't say they're my people. I'm tired. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Lex, if you love
telling my people who the fuck they are, and I'm tired of it. It needs
Lex,
to stop.
You gotta act like you love niggas if you love them, because you don't act like it, bro.
How don't I act like it? Just because I disagree with you on some things, don't mean I don't love you.
No,
I wouldn't let you. I would never let anybody here starve my brother.
Hey, Lex, love is respect, bro. You don't respect people's personal life. You know what I'm saying? You don't respect.
You don't know. It ain't about that. We just.
It is. It's about. We have the right to. Hey, it's about people having the right to self-identify, right?
All right. So do the Pan-Africans have the right to self-identify?
Nobody's telling you're not African.
But you call them pan-boo-boos and say that they're this. So it's the same way, bro. You're being a hypocrite, bro.
I respect you. That you're happy with being a slave.
Yeah, we never told you you're not a slave. You could be an African slave.
You know, be the slave.
Hey, we don't
go
to Pan-African channels. Hey, listen, Lex, respectfully, we don't go to Pan-African channels every day to convince them they're not African.
I don't go to Aboriginal.
That's what y'all do. Y'all do. Yeah, you do. And then
I'm not even trying to convince
Lex,
African.
And then y'all go to Sodnetter and then try to tell them that these guys think they're American. It's like we don't do that to Pan-Africans, bro. So you don't respect or love us, bro.
Yeah,
you being Two-Face.
Most of these clowns, they believe everything the corporation put out. They believe everything. They don't question anything. They just the corporation said it. Okay, yeah, it's a fact. That's the problem I have with these guys.
I beef with Pan-Africans. I don't agree with them. I don't get along with Unc and Garfield.
That's why we said you. Hey, that's why Alabama said you Two-Face, because you be over there talking shit about us. Hey, Goofy, you just look. You see, let us talk long enough.
Personal shots.
So you be over there talking shit about us, and you be over here talking shit.
Listen, the truth has no friends.
We not stupid.
That's what it is. Whether a person is a Pan-African or Aboriginal, if they're not telling the truth, it is what it is.
But what's not the truth over here?
I don't have to play along to get along.
Right.
And all
okay.
That.
So what's not the truth over here? We speak only truth.
The truth. I mean,
Chief, I don't know if you saw in the chat that the lady who asked you to drop the link says Dane only has a few minutes to speak because he's still on tour. And I don't know why this distraction, I don't know why we need the distraction of ignorance. But again, since I asked him more than once, what is the benefit of a slave narrative? You see, there is none. Now, back to the International African American Museum and whether Dane decides to speak on it, if he does participate with us or not. The reason I brought up the code, this is United States code, and I hold you as a legal expert, my sister. A code is not a law. Statute is not a law, right? But why are these codes, particularly 18 USC, and this specific one that's brought up is 42 USC 1983, that speaks to the deprivation of rights? Now, I hope to God these idiots actually get before a judge or a jury. I'm asking whether he shares this with or not, because I don't want him to give away, spill any tea or share any secrets per se. But the truth of Aboriginal American existence is depriving the Native Americans of what? That's the first question. The second is, if that is such a factual statement, which again, it's an opinion that they can express. That's the reason why you go to court. But what happens when people file frivolous lawsuits, Chief Morning Thunder?
They can, when you file a frivolous lawsuit, if the judge deems it frivolous, then you can appeal that too. They can sanction you as the frivolous person. They can fine you. They certainly can. However, it must be frivolous. Must be frivolous.
Okay, so then if I and Wolf or Philly, whichever one want to play along, I'm going to say y'all the Aboriginals. I'm the $5 hoe imposter that's going to say you're teaching these ignorant Indian, nigger, Negro, colored, black, mulatto, African Americans to be what the American definition says in Noah Webster from 1828, that you're the descendants of the Aboriginal copper-colored inhabitants of this land. How is your teaching that depriving this Native American of what? What do either of you brothers think that may mean?
Rights.
Big dog, you want to get that? Big dog.
We're deprived of everything.
I think
we're in bondage.
Yeah.
Prisoners of war. We're deprived of our true race identity as a people.
He's asking what are we depriving them of, right, Alabama?
Remember, the lawsuit is being filed by an individual representing a quote-unquote Native American tribe that claims the teaching. I don't want to name him unless he comes and does share what he wants, because I get what you're saying, Chief Morning Thunder. That's why I'm using myself. If I go and file a lawsuit against any individual in the supposed Aboriginal American community, that what they teach, what they publish, what they author, what they present on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever other social media is depriving me of being a Native American. Slap it, flip it, rub it down, chop it up how y'all choose. I'm just saying my limited understanding is that is what the lawsuit is professing under 42 USC 1983. How are we discriminating against Native Americans?
Well, we're not.
That's not discrimination.
Well, what they want to do is
discrimination.
They want we're taking away their whole identity. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're scared of. They're holding our identity, and we taking it back. So they're kind of like, y'all can't be natives, because then what are we? You see what I'm saying? I've had this conversation with the so-called Hispanic natives in real life, and that shit get hectic, man. So we taking our shit back.
Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah.
Oh, bow down to the master teacher, my brother from another mother.
Dane, y'all.
What's going on? Hold on, wait a minute, y'all. I can't hear y'all. Hold on 1 second. I'm on this laptop. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get everything
Grand
together.
Rising, brother. Much respect from the OG, Philly OG. Much respect, brother.
Hold on. I should be able to hear y'all now. Can y'all say something for me? I can't.
Much
Peace and blessing. I'm just here to make you think, master teacher.
OCO, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Doing good, brother.
What's going on?
Man, I'm on the road right now. I'm in Mississippi right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm glad you came on, though.
Yeah, it's all good.
We had a few minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because we about to get up out of here. But what's going on?
Well, I was bouncing it around about 42 USC 1983, but we're trying to stay on the topic of the chief with the International African American Museum. But Chief, you got it. I'm gonna sit down.
Oh, no, I was just talking about how these indoctrinated, how they have the same exact story. Excuse me, these state historical societies have the identical story of what happened to the Aboriginals, aka Nijis, American Indians here. They're saying happened to Africans. It's the same story. And we were the ones here that it happened to. And also with Benjamin Franklin's notes of his observations of the Americas, it was wholly so our people. And, you know, these historical societies are lying. They're saying that specific Africans came to specific states during different times, and it's just not true.
Right.
So it's the lies that they're rewriting. They're putting up signs and updating them and putting them up in 2001 and adding African American on old historical documents. They remove the actual information that was on there, and they're putting African American on it. How do you put African American on an issue or an incident that took place in the 14 and 1300s?
Right, they rewriting it. They're rewriting it. Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's a crime scene. It's fraud. It's a absolute abuse of power under the color of law. It is abusive, and it's continuously being done up to including this day. Grand opening of these African American museums. No history of the unrecognized tribes here. Yet they come up with this African story.
That's the agenda. That's been like that for years. You know, I've been speaking against that for years. On top of that, to wake the people up to what their agenda is. But more and more people are waking up to it. They're realizing, or they're recognizing the game that they're playing, and people don't want to play it. They don't want to be a part of it anymore. So there is a resistance going on right now, and it's quite odd that you all are bringing up the 42 USC 1983 because that's actually what I'm going through right now. You know, they're trying to claim that I'm discriminating against them, a particular person of a particular government entity. I'm gonna say it that way. You know, and I'm glad. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm actually glad because this is gonna unveil a lot of things that they didn't want to be out in the forefront. They're actually doing me a favor because once this is done, I'm able to state a lot more things to showcase to you what's going on. And what I mean by that is more so about what I'm teaching. It's more so about what I'm presenting. And it's going against the things that we were told in the past about who those particular people are. I'm going to just say it for that reason. You know, of course, this is still open. They don't want that truth out. This is the reason why they don't want to go to, you know, the court and nothing. I mean, they don't want to go to trial. They don't want to prolong it.
It's going to be thrown out as frivolous with the information and documents that you have historically and I have and everybody has. Their case, from what it sounds like to me, filing that on you is going to be frivolous, and they're going to be in trouble for that.
Yes, they are. They can. I can get a lot of money. Remember, keep in mind, this was thrown out twice already. They tried to go to the Supreme Court first, and then they tried to go through federal court. Both of them threw it out. So they're going through the district. So now I said, all right, let's play. Okay. Let's play. Let's see what's going on because I want to make a lot of things public record anyway. So let's do it. Because once this is over with, and what you will be, my lawyers just already filed the motion for dismissal for a reason. I'm gonna just keep it that way. You know, all that stuff is gonna be public record, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to do my thing with it. I'm gonna just say it that way because it's time. It's time. And they know what's going on. Of course, they attacked me and tried to say that it was my information. They tried to use my YouTube channel against me. They tried to use the documentaries against me. They tried to use my books against me. It's why else? How? Where's the discrimination? Where is it at? Oh, am I discriminating? I wish I want to say so much more. Okay, I really do. I want to say so much more, but
I think you should. No, because
you should be able to put two and two together. What this is about.
Don't say anything more. You don't owe anybody any. Let that go through. That shit is frivolous, and leave it like that. I wouldn't say anything, Dane.
May I ask this one question though?
Go ahead.
And Brother Dane, you always here to make me think, and I thank you. So let me make you think about this, not regarding whether they can prove or disprove, and I think they cannot, that you've discriminated against them. Is the International African American Museum or the Smithsonian sponsored African American Museum that was open to great fanfare, is that depriving us our rights of being who we truly are?
Absolutely. It's been going on for years. See, I want to talk so much about this, y'all, but I gotta wait. But I mean, you can already see the brother that was just talking. You can already see the move that I'm making here. Like, I mean, they were playing checkers while I was playing chess. Okay, because I want this out in the forefront. This is gonna be a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna put everything out there. I'm gonna just say it that way. No, it's to a point where my attorneys was like, I was about to do this last year. My attorneys was like, no, hold on, wait, Dave, wait. Give them a chance. Meaning, how can I say this?
I wouldn't even say anything.
Oh no, because I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna say nothing. Okay.
Let it go.
I prolonged everything in order for them to have a chance. But where's it at?
I don't know why someone in the chat asked to ask you about Tizi Islam in California. I'm not familiar with that. Are you?
No, I don't know.
Because someone in the chat said to ask you about the Tizi Islam decision in California. Now, the second question I had was about reparations. And I'm staying again in the same context about the International African American Museum, which was officially opened this week in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you seen the clip of Victor Blackwell's ancestor that they use for marketing? Chief, I don't know if you want to bring that back up again, but and this is just some bullet points, Dane, but I want to ask this for you to set this question up. Okay. The quick bullet points are, and Victor Blackwell is very prominently known, probably the last Negro standing since Don Lemonade's been let go. His ancestor, Mary, and her granddaughter, Bess, arrived on a ship in 1711 at the port, which is referred to as Gadsden's Pier in Charleston, South Carolina. They then, about 80 years later, the great-granddaughter, Sarah, files a lawsuit in 1791 based on testimony, deposition, and eyewitnesses who said over 8 decades prior that the matriarch, Mary, and her granddaughter, Bess, the mother of Sarah, appeared to look like Indians. Now, again, I'm reading between the lines, Dane, but they never once used the word Africa. I don't know if Chief could bring that clip back up to you. Mm-hmm. However, they said they traced them back to the tribe Mattaponi in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Then, almost more than 2 decades later, in 1807, Rachel, the daughter of Sarah, supposedly not aware of her mother's filing a lawsuit, filed a second lawsuit 2 times in his matrilineal generation to sue for freedom based on being born free. Now, I set that up saying this, Dane. If being called an African, if being even insinuated to be of African ancestry, does that deprive us of the freeborn right of being what an American is defined as? The Aboriginal copper-colored people who inhabit this land in 2023. So I think I've set it up for you, Dane. Please.
You already know my answer.
Not the grand slam out of the park.
If you have time to watch it, I'll show it.
You already know my answer. I'll be able to pull that up. Actually, I'm gonna pull that up myself. I'm gonna take a look at it when I get back in here. But that's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
So okay, so now they're trying to push that to the forefront. Are they trying to push anything in the museum, like as far as the entire story, or they're giving you the cliff notes?
In his introduction for the museum, which I thought was amusing, but it's only a 7-minute piece, dang, so it's not very long. But I'm just really flabbergasted because you know how editing works. You're a master at putting your documentaries together. Imagine what had to be reduced down. You are a master. I'm going to bestow it upon you. I'm giving you flowers while you're above ground. You know how much had to be reduced, condensed down to a 7-minute segment. Yeah. In the very opening of the segment, he says it's over 600 years of history. Are you going to play that, Chief? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, he said he wanted to pull it up. I don't know if he has that.
No, I'm going to go ahead, pull it up. I'm going to pull it up on my end anyway. I wanted to see what they were doing.
Don't forget the part where they had two witnesses that said that his granny looked like Indians. But hold on.
Wait a minute. I didn't say that again. I didn't hear that. That didn't come out too well on my side.
Dane, they never even mentioned the word African in the eyewitness testimony of the deposition for the court cases. The witnesses said they appear to look Indian. But go ahead, Chief. I'm sorry. Let me stand down.
No. Go ahead. I'm pulling it up now. I'm gonna pull it up now because it is hilarious.
I'm hearing am I the only one hearing it's like a soft?
Oh, it's my music.
Oh, she's beautiful. Your place or my place, dang. That's a beautiful sister. What's her name, Chief? King sis?
King. Her name is what is it? On King Sis. That's her name. It's on Epic Records. I have a little account with them.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know what that was. I thought something was going on with my laptop. I'm like, I don't know have music.
Oh, Dane, it's called Your Place or My Place, and she is fly.
Yeah, this girl can sing. Oh, here it is. I got it right here.
It's a delay. I just heard that. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm here though. It's this Wi-Fi and this. I got it though.
Let me do the share screen. Hey, Cut. Hey, Kusa. I'll be with y'all in a minute.
Thanks. How y'all doing?
I'm good, bro.
Goody. Yo, yesterday's show, man, I knew it was very important, man. That's why I didn't want to go into that Brother Polite stuff, because when Dane and Bat was talking, man, that lawsuit was so heavy, man. Alabama, you went in. So, hey, Dane, I appreciate everything you're doing, my brother. I appreciate it, my man. So
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you too.
No doubt.
Here we go. Fair use, y'all.
Researchers traced my genealogy. Now listen, as a Black man with deep roots in the American South, I thought I knew where my story was headed. I was very wrong. Very few moments in my career
this dummy,
have ever
please.
brought me to this.
Boy, bye.
Man. It happened at the International African American Museum in Charleston, South Carolina, which opens this month.
Bye.
6 centuries of history packed into
150,000
square feet at the historic Gadsden's Wharf.
Above 40% of all enslaved Africans would have come in through Gadsden's
Wharf. Bye.
We've been referred to as the ground zero of importation of enslaved people
Fair
into
use.
the United States.
Dr. Tanya Matthews is the museum's president and CEO.
Girl, bye. You getting delivered. You getting served.
Or celebration.
Yes. I refuse to choose.
Tribal art and contemporary fashion, relics of protest and reports of resistance.
It's this infusion of trauma and joy constantly that we like to talk about here. You get the full story, but you're going to get all the context in it.
What arguably is the best illustration of full context is the Museum Center for Family History.
Yo, just the shit we gotta fight.
Researchers with access to millions of records that can trace African American lineage, sometimes
you already know I'm on that.
To a slave ship that came into this very port. The expert genealogist here spent months tracing my lineage. And this was the day of the long-awaited reveal.
Make sure you got a box of Kleenex by you and sit there and enjoy.
And
that's the museum's top genealogist, Dr. Shelley Murphy, on the laptop.
Girl.
She's joining us from the university.
It's a tree just a snapshot of your tree, and I'm following your maternal line.
Wow. That's a lot just seeing the tree.
You see that box? Well, that represents David Venn, my great-grandfather's great-grandfather. He lived in coastal Richmond County, Virginia, on a farm with his wife Judy and their 18 children. And in 1871, he filed this claim to be reimbursed for livestock and supplies requisitioned by Union troops during the Civil War.
Another thing that is significant is that he owned the land that he's on, and it was 23 acres.
Where did a man?
All right, y'all hear this shit, right?
1870s.
I can't.
So soon after the end of slavery, get
African owned their land. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. There it is.
And the thing of it is, I would even question, he said he was freeborn.
Well, for some answers, we have to go back more than 300 years to my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Mary. She arrived on a ship in Northumberland County, Virginia.
You don't even know how many greats you just said.
12, before America
there we
was
go,
America.
Virginia.
Her granddaughter,
didn't Dane show that picture?
Great-grandmother, Bess, was with her. That's according to this centuries-old deposition that Dr. Murphy's team uncovered. Why a deposition? We'll learn that
1791,
And
y'all.
Bess at the time was
We had
about
black
13
governors
years old.
during that time.
Witnesses apparently said they looked like they were Indians.
Researchers believe that Mary.
Did you hear that? Wait a minute.
Like
Let me back that up a little bit.
Virginia called
For Indians.
Researchers believe that
Wait.
Mary.
Years old. Witnesses apparently said they looked like they were Indians.
Researchers.
They looked like they were Indians. Witnesses said they looked like they were Indians. Y'all, smash the damn like button. Throw up some damn fire. This case is not going to be hard to bust asses. Y'all, please donate, please, so we could get, man. The donations you giving is for a standby lawyer, because it might get hot, stinky, and funky up in that damn district court.
Witnesses apparently said they looked like they were Indians.
Researchers believe that Mary and Bess were actually Mattaponi, like these people of that region of Virginia called the Northern Neck.
We're not sure
Mattaponi,
where they came
not Mattaponi, Mattaponi.
Thomas Smith of Richmond County did enslave one of Bess's children, and that was Sarah.
I'm done. Sarah, my 7 times great-grandmother, who changes the trajectory of her children and all her descendants who followed.
There was a law back in 1705 that declared that all children that are enslaved or free, their condition would be based on whatever their mother was.
Remember, Sarah and Bess arrived free people.
So Sarah has a lawsuit that's filed saying, we're free.
This is the actual lawsuit filed by Sarah, suing for her freedom and for the freedom of her descendants.
Yeah, I'm done.
And that deposition was from a witness who saw Mary and Bess arrive decades earlier.
So in 1791, the court agreed.
Right after they created the first census sheet, y'all. 1791. I'm done, y'all.
Who were descendants of Mary and Bess are going to be free.
That my ancestors
coming for their ass.
Filed and sued for their freedom. It is remarkable.
We're not done.
We're not done. We're not done. Okay.
I tell you, boy, here you. The guy in the church with the tambourine. We can't be. Look.
Not all of Sarah's family was free. Before the court's decision, Sarah's enslavers illegally sold her daughter, Rachel, and then Rachel was sold again. And for the next 20
Look at the picture,
years,
y'all. They use the same goddamn picture.
Rachel and her
children and putting the story to him. Y'all, I can't do it.
Of the decision
That's conceptualism.
More than a quarter century after her mother's groundbreaking lawsuit for freedom, Rachel filed this lawsuit against her enslavers.
Taking a picture and putting the story to it. Now I'm going to put my story
and
to these
therefore
damn
she
pictures.
and her children should also be free.
I got you.
And guess what? The witnesses and things all came through, and they were awarded their freedom. So
the witnesses came.
What do you think?
You know what? Oh, it's affecting him so bad.
This is, oh man.
Y'all know
to
what?
Be an enslaved woman suing a slave master, to do it twice in
Hey,
one
Sister
bloodline.
Betty, he trying to get a role in Hollywood.
Your
You know
line
what?
Trying to get a role in.
started out in
I mean, with him
Tyler
bringing
Perry
up the
film.
tissue to his eyes before the tears started dropping.
Exactly.
Hey, the tissue wet.
I'm going to tell
He
you
wet his
what,
eyes with tissue.
Victor.
He trying to
The
get a
women in
leading
your
role
family
on
is
a B-lister.
You know what? I can't no
It
more.
fills
I'm
in
done. These actors, man. Actors, agents. We got y'all. We got y'all.
Now there are names, relatives.
Oh yeah, they
and
the burn files mysteriously appeared.
More of
the burn fires from the newspaper back then mysteriously appeared. And guess what? You know what?
I am so grateful to the people at that museum.
I can't. You know what? I cannot. I really can't. This is a hot mess, y'all.
So my question with bringing that up, Dane, I don't think you heard the word African except in the title and the sign. You notice how the manipulation of marketing, they used it to make it say I am?
Yeah, it's conceptualism.
I got you, bro. I know you would pick up on that. But did you hear the word African used in the story or the narrative?
Not one time.
When the boat arrived in 1711 or 1712, he, out of his own mouth, said they arrived free. Please make this make sense for me, Dan.
Yeah, and then where'd that boat come from? When the boat arrived, what was the name of the boat? What kind of boat was it?
Exactly.
They traced them back to the tribe in Virginia. They arrived in Gadsden Wharf in Charleston on a boat in 1712, free people, and then they traced them back to the Mattapony tribe in Virginia, but they didn't connect the dots. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, it's purposely done that way to leave the loopholes to, it's for the people's use of their own imagination. That's all they're doing. They want the people to put the puzzles together by way of what they're familiar with, what they were already indoctrinated with, especially when they associate the terms African American on a museum. There we go. I mean, at least some of that truth was in there, though. They couldn't get rid of it. They tried their best. They couldn't get rid of all of it. But
to his credit, he really don't know.
I mean, you know the editing.
Of course, he didn't know. He was vulnerable. The guy was vulnerable.
But you knew the editing it took to reduce it to 7 minutes. Imagine what's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. We didn't get the name of the boat. Where did it arrive to? Or when did it? Where did it arrive from? Like, where was it coming from? Where did it depart from? That's the word. I want to know the disembark and embark. I want to know the records of that boat. Then who built the boat? How did they fund it? How did they fund the journey? How did they survive that journey? That's even before they hit Virginia. And then wait a minute. They said before that was that because earlier they were saying Charleston, South Carolina. But prior to that, their ancestors came off of a boat to Virginia. Where in Virginia? Where's the dock? Which one? I would have so many questions with that. I mean,
and they own 23 acres.
Yeah, with them already. One second. With them already having land, that just let me know. I've been saying this for a while. A lot of our people already didn't have land.
1712, they own 23 acres.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
Oh no. let me correct that one point. The lawsuit in 1871 was with his grandfather. Now the Veney trial, you can look it up anytime you choose. It's Sarah Veney, Veney, Dane. Mm-hmm. But the lawsuit that his grandfather filed was in 1871 about Union troops using his property. You feel me?
Oh, okay.
His question was, well, how did an African slave, as Chief likes to say, how did an African slave own land in 1871?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Keep in mind, that's the time period when they redid the Constitution, 1871.
Yep.
A lot of those white people were coming over during that time period. And especially allegedly not that long ago after 1863, 1865. How was he able to own 23 acres? That's a lot of land. That's a lot. And with them being free, I wonder what they were doing. I mean, it couldn't be Nothing but the obvious in order for them to upkeep that land. And especially with him jumping up and saying, don't use my territory.
And remember, he's on the air in CNN daily in Georgia, perpetuating an African-American narrative. And I'm not saying necessarily to sue Victor Blackwell, Chief, though I know you probably have that in mind. I'm saying in the context of suing these historical societies and these alleged African-American museums, starting with the Smithsonian. And remember, Dane, in the Smithsonian version, my father was a Tuskegee Airman. They have a plane that was used for training. They have the bus car of the Freedom Riders and allegedly the train car that Rosa Parks refused to get up on. Now, is any of those examples of our story being claimed to be of African origin, is that depriving us of our rights under UNDRIP and ADRIP to exist unmolested as the descendants of Aboriginal Americans? I mean,
that's
I don't
why
know. I'll sit on that.
We could use the 42 USC 1983 against them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's
I said that yesterday. Soon as I heard, I was like, "Oh shit!" Golly, go ahead, brothers and sisters.
Peace to the panel, peace to the gods. It is also internationally colonization in its lowest form. We gotta call it at what it is. And like Dane said, it's conceptualism, it's colonization, it's just fraud.
Fraud.
It's absolute. They absolute fraud. They created that, crafted it, in the way that was edited. I'm almost wanting to question that, but I'll look it up. But I almost want to question those court records, but I'll look it up. I'll double check. I'll make sure that.
How did all these records that supposedly burned appear? The little burn marks. They
lied about that.
Found a CNN anchor's information.
Mm-hmm. And she the top genealogist.
The Democratic channels anchors. He found them. They found them, and when they all burned.
I wonder how long that took. Did they mention that? How long did it take?
And we also got to see if they actually was burned or actually like staged or attempted to be burned. We got to check the paper, when it was produced, the age, everything. We have to overturn everything.
Everything has to be cross-referenced.
They have a field in college where they make things look old. So.
Oh yeah. Graphic designers.
But Dane, remember in the entry to the piece, he said this institution, just opened this week, has over 6 centuries of history.
Yep. They were ready.
That starts in 1400.
Yep. Now, keep in mind, they always telling our people that they can't go back as far as 1830. And they said the records stop right there. But wait a minute, how? When everybody else is, as far as the experts are concerned, are able to access more information. So if the record stopped for us as individuals, how were you able to get it for someone individually prior to 1830? What's going on? Something's not adding up.
And look who did it for him.
And wouldn't it be in our indigenous languages or Aboriginal languages?
Say it again. You broke out on my side.
I said, wouldn't it? And what are the documents written in? Is it written in English, German, Dutch? Is it written in our languages as far as Creek, Muskogee?
Right. Yeah, what languages would they? That's a very good question. And on top of that, I believe, from what I could tell, that was cursive writing.
Yep.
Cursive writing was their formal style. We know for a fact that came from the Europeans. I will have to see exactly. That could have been refurbished, reproduced. I will have to look at that to be sure that that's an actual court record.
Dane, I have to
I want to see if there's some broken English there.
It's in documentation. It's in a court record, and the witness under oath said they appear to look Indian. What does that mean in 1712? To appear to look Indian. You feel what I'm asking, brother?
That's another thing. That's why I'm thinking why that could have been crafted just to get to combat our narrative. Because Indian would be Indian back then, not look like Indian.
Right.
You know why? Because what was that? What year was that? 1790?
1712.
The court case came up in September 1791. The witnesses is referring to an incident 80 years prior in 1712, where the mother and the granddaughter, which would be the grandmother, or great grandmother and mother of the defendant, Sarah, filing the first lawsuit in 1791. And then her daughter, Rachel, filing a second action in 1807. Both of which basing their actual suit on being born free, flipping the law in 1705 that tried to make us born slaves. You feel what I'm saying, Dane?
Yeah.
So they
because
flipped
at that
the
time,
law.
1790, they were trying to make everybody slaves on the census. It was
Correct.
only free whites, free white males 18 and older, free white females 16 and older. And then it was slaves. That was it. It wasn't no marker for, or no category rather, for Indians, Negroes. That didn't exist. Not 1790. But what's interesting is that they said appeared to look Indian. That's what's sticking out to me.
Right.
Because appearing to look Indian, you're not an enumerator. Why are you stating that? Because if that person's an Indian, they will be an Indian. But again, I'm gonna have to check and take a look and see if that was the correct wording. Did they actually say it that way? Let me see.
But even arguing for or against
for
that,
them to say
Dane,
that around that time.
that's why I'm interested in why African was not referenced at all.
No, African is not going to be referenced at all, and even inside of the census, going all the way up until now, African is not mentioned anywhere. African has if we were African, they would have labeled us as African right there, 1790.
Facts.
When they first started the census.
Facts.
But there's a reason why they didn't. Because they wanted to take away things that we had. In order to take away the things that we had, create a people that have no existence.
There it is.
Craft a character. A fictional character. Unfortunately, this is what happened to our people.
So one last time, Dane, I know pretty much how you're going to go with this. The misnomers starting with Indian, nigger, Negro, colored, black, and now perpetuating African American, is that depriving the rights of the people defined as, I say, the only American, the Aboriginal copper-colored people of Turtle Island.
That is.
Oh, you left out Afro-American.
Yeah, it's Afro-American, a Mary Indian. It was a bunch of them in there. Urban Indian.
Yeah.
But it was a bunch of them in there that they labeled a lot of those labels.
FBA, ADOS, XYZ, LMNOP, etc.
Yep, those two, the alphabets. Those two. Yeah, but that is depriving us from our natural rights, the rights that we're born with prior to any infiltration by any organization or any corporation that's considering themselves a government.
So could we safely conclude, Master Teacher, I'm just here to make you think that both of these lawsuits declared their rights as freeborn people, and in 2023, keep calling ourselves niggas, rapping, etc., we are being deprived of such rights. I'm saying, not to put words in your mouth, good young brother.
No, that's right now. That's right now. That's happening and has been happening. And you know who? I'm gonna be real here. It's our people's fault. I'm gonna be real. It's our people's fault.
It's true. You're right.
We're not looking at the situation, okay, with an open mind, thinking, wait a minute, how did this even happen to our people? Like, I mean, really look at the situation and the stories that they were telling us and break that down. Does that make sense to you? How is it that a group of foreigners were able to take over another set group of foreigners in a foreign territory, then bring them to a whole nother foreign territory and take over those foreigners when that just don't sound right to me. Right then and there. You talking about two different set groups of foreigners. You talking about Africans and Americans. With y'all being Europeans, how do y'all possess that type of power to take over two continents and successfully? do this in succession. No, I'm not going to fall for that, but a lot of our people have. They're claiming that we came off of a boat because that's the stories that they were presented in school. It started with the indoctrination process started as children. These children grew up to become adults, and they don't want their feelings hurt because they gravitated towards their stories because that might have been their favorite teacher. They worked so hard to get that A on their report card. I'm just saying, it's time to nip this in the bud. All you got to do is retrace their steps. You connect the dots. That's it. Connect the dots. Does it make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, then not just run with what you may think it is. Go check and see what it is. See what's actually on record individually in your individual family.
Why keep repeating nonsense?
Yeah.
Some brother in the chat says, I'm going to bestow this on you, master teacher, in this moment. Johnny Cochran is flying through your chakras. I'm paraphrasing the quote in the chat. They are bestowing that the spirit of Johnny Cochran is flying through your chakras, good brother.
Johnny Cochran was, they got rid of him for a particular reason, too, because he was on the verge of doing a big major lawsuit for our people on that note, as far as our identity is concerned. Some of you may be familiar with that. That's something that he got up and said, okay, I'm going to create my own law firm and hire people that I trust, which are the Niji, and say, okay, this is what we're going to go after. We're going to correct the mistakes that was made when it comes to our identity. They got rid of him right after that. His firm was created, but that was it. They got rid of him after that.
And he mysteriously died of cancer.
They got rid of him.
Wow, I did not know that, man. Dropping jewels. Golly.
Damn.
Yeah, he was a good brother. He was a good brother. And he was on the verge of making it. He had the money. He was on the verge of making it happen. But of course, he went against the grain and they got rid of him.
Like they do them all.
That's how they play. Murder, motherfuckers.
See, this is the reason why I said it got to be more than one leader. All of us got to be leaders. So they can't pinpoint and be like, that's him. Take him out. We can't let that happen no more.
Right.
Hey, can I ask Brother Dane a question?
Sure, brother.
Brother, have you been monitoring Islam situation that's going on in California?
I remember he had a new court date coming up, but I haven't. I'm on a road. I haven't got a chance to check and see how that's been going on.
But that's what the question Alabama was trying to relate to you. I didn't want to put it in the chat, but 2 days ago they exonerated him of all charges.
Oh, okay, good. So he beat him.
And his mama now. Come on, give her stuff too.
Yeah, DJ, tell him about it, DJ.
The little boy, you talking about the little boy and his mama?
Yeah. Well, his two sisters also.
No, hold up. Sister Betty, no, we talking about Rizza Islam, the brother from California out of the Nation of Islam.
Right, and his two sisters copped the plea. They broke them down to accept the authority of California.
Hold on, y'all. I'm confused. Wait a minute. So which situation are we talking about? We talking about the young boy that was 14?
No, Rizza.
Yeah, I'm confused.
You talking about Rizza Islam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying everything is gone. They wiped it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
good.
It
was 2 days ago.
And his mom passed away before she could hear.
Oh, his mother passed?
Yeah, and she went to the grave worried about that stuff.
I didn't know his mother passed.
Yeah, well, she was implicit. She was implicit because she was running they said she was the kingpin of the welfare fraud, of the health care fraud, that they was all brought up on charges on, the two sisters, Rizza and Mom. It was reported that Mom died of cancer. I don't know her, because I know these people. They'll kill you. But, so, yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know his mother passed.
Yeah, I got that news. The reporter that's been reporting on it, but
I got on Rizza. I remember I had to get on Rizza publicly about his the decisions that he was making when it came to his females. That was the only time I got on Rizza. I just wanted him to make wise choices. He heard me.
Yeah,
I heard that word got out to him, and I heard he got that straightened out. But as far as this situation, I knew he was coming. Him and his family were coming under fire because they were They did garner some money out of that situation, but
Yeah,
I didn't see any evidence
$3 million.
against them, and I'm glad that everything is dropped when it comes to that, because that was trying to make him look like a bad guy. And I'm pretty sure he had a good heart and he had an open mind, and he wanted to give them a direction where they could go, where they won't have to, you know, suit up and boot up and take these. I'm not going to state what they are, but you know what they are, and them pokey things. He was against all of that, and I'm glad that he spoke up against that, because I was speaking up against that as well. You know, so I'm glad to hear that they dropped all of it, but it's unfortunate that he lost his mother in the process.
Yeah,
he lost his mother in the process. That's my first time hearing that. I didn't know that.
Well,
but they were definitely coming after her.
It's in the news. So,
how long ago was this when he lost his mom? Was this recent?
Man, I forgot how long did they say. It might have been over less than 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago? No, it couldn't have been.
I think so. I'm not sure, Dave. No, don't quote me on this, man. But I know the report said his mom was reported died of cancer. Now, the time period, I forgot because I didn't pick up on that. It was in the report that she had passed away.
Okay.
May the universal God and the ancestors have received the will, man.
And blessings and condolences to him. But this sounds eerily like Ye's mother.
Exactly.
You know, and sacrificing to the system thing.
You said say it again? I didn't hear that last
sounds eerily similar to Kanye West's mother, and alleged, you know, a mishandling of liposuction in the case of his mother.
Shoot, Joan Rivers, DC Young Fly, that stuff keep happening. So go ahead, please.
Well, we'll see, because if RZA goes up, then we know what it was about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he just randomly appears to be larger than he was, like rapidly, then we know what it was. Like, you know, but.
And you're talking about in regards to sacrifice, right?
There. Yeah, that's only if it was a sacrifice, he will be jumped to the forefront quickly.
That's right.
But
just like they say, Young Fly got
so in bringing back to the focus for you, Dane, let me ask you this: in the comparison of what sovereignty means to you, United States citizenship and benefits, how being used with going from Negro to Black to African American, this is how they are attacking us, just like this lawsuit case they just discussed. What say you about the difference between a sovereign Aboriginal and a United States citizen subject to this criminal enterprise?
It's a big difference. They're not the same at all. A citizen is actually someone that's tied to the state or estate. These estates are owned by the corporation, the corporation being the government. That means that you have an overseer that's governing your way of life. That means that you are deprived of your natural human rights.
Correct.
A sovereign is sovereign. You are in control of everything. Yep. You are at the driver's seat. You are the engine. You are the alternator. You are the battery. You are the PCU. That's the best way I could explain that right now. But sovereign, it's all on you.
It's true. That's how we lived on our agricultural lifestyles. The state had no jurisdiction over us. We weren't citizens, and they tell you that.
We weren't citizens until the 1960s.
Yeah, they tell you that in the historical society. I got that too. We wasn't citizens.
They was trying to label Islam as a sovereign citizen.
That's a misnomer.
They couldn't get around it.
A sovereign citizen is like, that's like a what's the word for it? Not only a misnomer.
It's an oxymoron.
Oxymoron. That's it. Yep. It's an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen.
Sovereign citizen, it doesn't go together.
I'm just a DJ with the words. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. You can't be both.
No.
I really don't think that we're citizens under our real race.
We can never be citizens.
I think that we were tricked to become citizens. Our people were tricked to become citizens because once they became citizens, they lost everything they had. Their land, their jobs, their businesses, their homes, and their rights. They were tricked. They were thinking that they were going to become first-class citizens when they were third. They were third in line.
We was dealing with liars. They was lying every step of the way. They knew the outcome. If they can get you to contract, like they do today, they bring you into these court systems. They get you to contract some sneaky kind of way. A certain false authority telling you lies, promises to get you to sign on that dotted line. And when you sign on that dotted line, oh, now they got you. Right?
Yeah, but
That's how they trick you.
Where's the proof of that even happening? And
That is
secondly,
correct.
And secondly, when did the last I checked, how are we letting 14, 15, 16, 12-year-olds that can't read understand their policies? As when you look on the census
Yeah, it's
sheet,
not being taught. You're right. It's not being taught.
Look
They
who's
should.
teaching them. That's
exactly. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's not being taught in school. They want you to take a particular curriculum once you get to a college and university to know law. It's not being taught. It's not being taught. I mean, in regular public schools, not even private, not even charter. It's really not. It's just like how they don't teach us about taxes and credit. They don't teach us how to run a business, open a business, start a business, upkeep a business.
Yeah.
It's all about you, being a slave to the system, being a citizen, slave, resident, something in transient status. You're just there temporarily.
And I know if the DJ was on. I know if the DJ was on spot, he'd bring up Grace Jones, Slave to the Rhythm. But Dane, one last time, and I know your time is short, and thank you for all you're doing as you're out on tour.
Yeah.
42.
I want to appreciate it, Dave. I really do.
42 USC 1983. As your understanding, and in bringing the code up, and thanks DJ Kutak, who only spins records, the deprivation of rights, they're claiming we discriminate against them. Could you share with us how tribal federal recognition discriminates against the true African being called such, that is the American Indian in law and the Constitution? How do you see federal recognition depriving us of rights of the uncivilized tribes, Mike?
Just think about it. Why should we have recognition from something that's been federalized when the recognition that we had originally was confederalized? Initially, we were the Confederates.
Yeah.
When you drop off the Constitution, the construct, considering what we had amongst ourselves. I can't go too far because I want to use my situation as an example.
No, and I don't want you to spill the tea.
I'm trying not to use that as an example.
Yeah, because that's why I'm trying to bring it up in a generic fashion
for
I know people to understand. Because curriculum and this whole CRT wokeism, the attacks that's being put up as a distraction to prevent us from true knowledge. So I can't give you your flowers enough with this rare opportunity to speak to you, Master Teacher. I'm just here to make you think on this regard, that the deprivation of rights to the Aboriginal, called American by Noah Webster as the copper-colored inhabitants of this land.
Yeah.
Why can't we keep it simple and smart that way, my good brother?
Well,
our people have no idea.
Right.
It's really about teaching our people this, because all of us on this panel know. But just imagine if this panel was 100 million plus. That's how much we because not one person can do it. It's power in numbers. Everybody has to be aware. They have to be cognizant of what happened and who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a mission. This is a process, but it's going to happen. Not only do I have faith and belief in it, I just know it's inevitable. I know it's going to happen. The change is going to come. And this is the reason why they send attacks like how you see. It's not going to stop us.
And by the way, to add to that, Rizza Islam's mother died last year of March when he announced it on Instagram.
It was last year. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's recent.
Hey, Dame, can I ask you a question, brother? This OG
Sure.
Philly, man. Much respect, brother. Shouldn't we be challenging the education system and the universities also, brother?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's that. I think that's me personally. That's like number 1 or 2 on the list. Like, matter of fact, it should be number 1, number 1.1, number 1.2, number 1.3.
That's where I'm at. Yes, sir.
I agree.
I had a quick question, and it's just a thought. Do you think that perhaps, and this for you, Anthony, too, that did we assimilate into their corporation or did they assimilate into ours?
They assimilated into ours and then usurped it. Because we was already teaching the family values. That's why they broke our families up, because the things that we're seeing that they're doing with the corporations, we were doing already amongst each other.
Right.
Yeah, they copied our script.
Did they assimilate into ours or did we assimilate into theirs? Because we always hear through YouTube, oh, we assimilated into their corporation by force. But how about, have we ever thought that
that's not good?
What I'm going to say, the truth is coming out.
They're mad.
I know, right? Remember
mad.
your timestamp.
Yep.
Remember your timestamp.
I got it. I got it right now.
As soon, matter of fact, make this go private as soon as this finishes.
Yeah.
And chop that up immediately.
Yep.
And so also when they actually usurped us, we got to look at it. What policies or what culture what culture came out of Europe? How can they say they were doing it? You got to show me you was doing it where you originally come from.
Right, when they were sending their criminals and peasants over here.
That's why I'm
saying. The only thing they had over there was a jail system. Yeah, I think they were just borrowing somebody's name in the chat. I don't think it was him.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
it's just like they accused them of the transport violations. You either die or you get transported somewhere else. Yes,
that was
and they're
the bloody code.
It now.
Yeah, it's still going. It's still ongoing. They lie and say it stopped years ago. It's still ongoing.
Remember, debtor prisons. You could be executed for being poor, and transportation was the penalty to get over here.
Yes, that's it. That's true. That's true. Absolutely true. The bloody code, if they need to look it up, that was the start.
We have to check everything. And as far as what we're doing is, as being on these panels, we have to start like we originally did, oral tradition, or even writing them down in the front parts of the Bibles. As far as our marriages, our death certificates, our births, we have to control our own narratives again. And anybody speak anything outside of what our narrative is, I'm sorry, you got to go.
Yeah. See, that's why
I second that for real.
Yeah, I agree. It's up to you.
I
certain
just say
people want to
not in the Bible. Do it in another journal, but not the Bible.
So, Dane, not to spill any tea or to give away any of your secret sauce, could something on the horizon be a new platform? Is Snapchat even used by these tweens? And
I haven't used Snapchat.
But you see where I'm going with this, Dane, about eventually making the compendium of your archive available and targeted with marketing at our middle schoolers. We got to get to them right out of elementary before getting to high school. That's one thing. Not to spill the tea or expose your secret sauce. And I want to reiterate again for the chat why 42 USC 1983 is more important than Byron Allen trying to use the Indian Civil Rights of 1866 or the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871. Would you share your insight on that?
That's
shenanigans, etc.?
Hold on, you said on my what now? Say it again.
On the attempts by Byron Allen to do his version of Shakedown with Comcast and then claim He was going under the Indian Civil Rights of 1866.
Oh yeah,
and the KKK Act of 1871.
He
Could
threatened them.
share
He
your
won.
wisdom on that perspective?
Oh man, he killed them. He got a whole lot of money off of that too. How much? I'm trying to think of how much that was.
He won that?
Yeah, he won that. He won a whole lot of money. Woo, he won so much money. But that was before they even went to trial. They shut him up quick. They settled. Damn, how much was that for? I want to say $500 million.
The reason I'm bringing that up, Dane, is I need the chat to understand why they don't realize the importance of context and history. Could you compare what you know best about Operation Push and the Rainbow Coalition that he used to fleece certain corporate entities? You know who I'm talking about, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, per se, to get franchises out of corporate America. And what do you think is the attempt of reparations with people like, well, he'll remain nameless, but he has a hidden history museum, if you feel me. What do you feel about reparations as a shakedown, brother? I'm staying in the context of, should we be shaking down the criminal enterprises or shut them down
because
entirely?
they're for profit. They're for profit. They're there to manipulate the people's mindsets with the sob stories. Oh, we're gonna do something with your pain that you're feeling. Of course, they're gonna pain you all day long and say, "Here, this is what I have for you." And a lot of our people will fall for it because they're outside looking in instead of inside looking out. Their main focus is on what's going on around them instead of what's going on right in front of them. And now people will fall for that. That constantly happens every year, especially around voting time. But they use it on our people. I look at that as a spell casted upon our people, knowing the fact that they want something, and especially when it comes to money. So they use hopes and dreams against our people, thinking that they're about to get something out of the deal, but it's only fattening the person's pockets that's out in the forefront pushing it.
Because from what I see, it's just
that goes for both Jesse Jackson and Tariq Nasheed.
They opened a nightclub.
It's a nightclub. Mm-hmm.
Aborigines, turn your camera on because I don't. Copper Aborigines. I don't. Let me see. Turn your camera on, hon.
So it's just to put it in my mouth, not yours, Dane. We keep hope alive by the actual truth, not by the narrative. That's my spin on it. Then okay,
that's good.
So then, being a school teacher's son, which I will always be till I get taken off this realm, how effective do you think technology, AI, and this is your world, brother? Y'all the 30 and 40 and under. How see you for your grandchildren and how we package this narrative, distilled, untainted, or toxified by Pamboo-booism?
Ooh, I'm not even worried about them. They're actually when it comes to AI, I say how they change information every 10 years is something that we have to combat. This is the reason why me personally, I'm teaching my children about coding, the importance of learning how to code for many different reasons because of how this technology is transitioning into something that was unforeseen that they tried to predict inside of movies, and here it is about to become our reality. Coding is the key when it comes to that, because if we take control over, like, for example, the reason why most of these search engines became popular over time is because the codes had a form of AI where learning algorithms a lot easier, a lot better over time. And then they threw in some more codes to tighten it up. Coding, whether if it's HTML, XML, whatever it is, I just want them to learn code because there may come a time where we may need to have our own code. Stay on code, that's a pun. It may come a time where we need to have our own code to combat some of these attacks that will happen in virtual reality, as if it is our reality. I don't want that to happen, but there may come that time. I feel as though it is important for us to be inside of that technology field. My son is in it. My oldest daughter is in it. My oldest son and my oldest daughter are in it right now. And my youngest son is taking classes also in coding. But that stuff is, as far as what we present to our people to answer that question as well, to keep that tight knit so it won't be infiltrated by outsiders, regardless if it's the pan goofies or not, take control over the code again. Insert what we want to insert. And don't let it be, become to, hit with a virus. I'm not trying to state any negativity per se, because I don't want that to come about. So cancel that. I'm going to cancel that. But any influence, negative influence, do with and do away. Do with and do away. I'm going to say it that way because we need that, though. I agree. Hold up. Technology's coming.
Since you mentioned that,
but let's bring it up and let's learn it.
Well, then I got to layer one more thought on it. I don't remember I think it's Dr. Joy Lamini, or it's in Africa. Coded Bias. Did you check that documentary on Netflix? It's talking about not just AI, the surveillance state, the difficulty of facial recognition, seeing melanated features, and then the compounding of the white supremacy being algorithmically encoded. It's called Coded Bias. Yeah. And they just had a recent meeting with Biden this past week about the dilemmas of AI and how it has this racial component that's targeting, as you say, brother, the Niji.
Yeah, it will be. And that's what we don't want. Like the only way we're I wouldn't leave that up to Biden or anything like that. It will have to be our people with our own force. But we have to learn coding. We have to be able to code in order to combat that, before they try to present that into the national internet. And not the intranet, the internet. Now, if we have control over the intranet, I'm not just talking about on one server, 2 or 3 servers. We should have our own servers. That's a whole different topic. But, in that technology field, I agree, even though it's going to be costly, but I agree we should have our own servers.
Yeah, we should.
And that's actually in the Human Right Declaration of Human Rights. That's supposed to be in indigenous peoples as well, supposed to be already afforded to us, or we should be assisted in obtaining, and we should be sovereign on all levels, like you're saying,
on all levels.
All levels.
Learning
and that is
telecommunication included.
Not only that he said that is encoded in the difference between restitution and reparations. I know you probably are versed on UNDRIP and ADRIP, Dane.
Absolutely.
But can we share it in common discussion for the average person? What's important of declaring what you truly are? That's why I'm going to circle back to 42 USC 1983 and the deprivation of rights. Chop it up, brother. Flip it, slap it, rub it down. Oh, no!
You know what? I did a video on this too, and I'm trying to think of the name of that. I put out a video, and I know it flew up under the radar, but
on what?
On 42 USC 1983.
Yeah, you did, but you did that like 3 years ago.
But I don't think it was 3. I think it was. You know what? It might be 3. I don't know. I think it was 3. You may be right about that.
Because you were talking about the UNDRIP, ADRIP. Yeah, that was about 3 years ago.
But keep in mind that's the Ku Klux Klan Act. Keep that in mind.
So this how you know 1871.
You know what I mean? This how you know. But I mean, okay. How can I explain this?
I'm not trying to get you to spill again. I'm not trying to get you to spill the beans, bro. I'm not trying to get the secret sauce exposed. That's why I was trying to stay generic on why UNDRIP and ADRIP is not understood. Are you hip to The Black Tax by Sean Rochester? It's a
Black Tax.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, TED Talks, bro. You can pull them up anytime, and I'm gonna sit on my tongue with this, Chief. Forgive me for stealing the thunder. If one calls oneself black, and that is a choice, and I'm not quoting Ye about slavery and 400 years and all this nonsense, but in the Black Tax, it shows codified from cradle to grave how living black is taxed. You feel me, young brother? So when one chooses to be black, then you are positioning yourself to be penalized in the black fashion of existence in blackness. Just like what we just explained with Rizza Islam. Or when we talk about the sister that Trump likes to crow about, Alice Johnson, letting her out of prison after being, incarcerated after half of 50 years for just selling marijuana. But not to go down the rabbit hole. I'm just saying, the Black Tax, Sean Rochester, compiles all levels from federal, state, and local, and all categories of agencies of how a black person is taxed from birth to death. What say you, my good young
There's a
brother?
big difference. There's a big difference between how we're taxed and how everybody else is taxed, especially when you consider yourself African American by choice, like he said, or black. Now, here's another thing. There's another flip side to that. Say, for example, you put other. Okay. Now, if your area has been red lined, green lined, yellow lined, or blue lined, if your area has been gentrified, urban removed, urban renewed, if your area has been tapped into by the government and their little federal bureaus, credit bureaus, stating that this area is predominantly black people, it doesn't matter if you put other. They're going to label you as black. They're going to tax you that way on your housing. They're going to tax you that way at your job. They're going to tax you that way on all of your utilities. This has been going on for a long time. I actually have a video on this out on this as well, how we're taxed differently than anybody else that are paying taxes by way of citizenship. Oh yeah, we get taxed the worst.
Because
especially our women
under color of law. And I'm gonna say it. I know you can't say it, Brother Dane, but yes, Native Americans are under color of law.
Look, listen. I can't wait because I got so much to share, especially what I purposely made them do on public record because I exposed it. I made sure, man. I just made sure I crossed all T's and dotted all I's. That's what I'm gonna say. Because there's a few things that has to be adjusted and they know it. And that's the reason why they thought I was about to be afraid of what they were doing. No. Bring it.
Yes, because they have to actually provide the evidence for themselves.
And where the evidence at?
Bingo.
I'm still looking for it. Shoot. So is the attorneys I hired.
Correct, Sammy.
I'm just saying. Anyway.
So that explains why when we just did this most recent census, while so many of us was getting visits from census takers.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Because I had to run some old white ladies up away from me. You right.
They they knocked on your door and they stood back 6 feet, and he was like, I was like, yeah. He says, well, I'm just out here because your name got picked out of the people in the community here. Mind you, it's 300 units here. And I said, yes, I selected American Indian Act because I am. Because they know that when they send in their report, they can't enumerate you.
Yeah, you got to claim, like, for example, if a police officer.
I mailed it in and I did it online. And they still came to my door.
They still going to do that. Actually, I remember during the time period of the situation where they were trying to keep everybody at home in 2020.
Yeah,
people were telling me that they were sending letters in the mail.
Yeah, they sent them in the mail, and we were able to do it online because I did it live to show everybody how to do it and the right area where to put American Indian.
You have to
tribal affiliation, say non-affiliated, but you still American Indian.
You have to make sure that you are claiming your right as an American Indian by way of all of their paperwork. For example, if you get pulled over by a police officer and they're about to hand you a ticket, tell the police officer not to mark you down as black, mark you down as American Indian. Because when you go to court, they're out of your jurisdiction.
That is correct. And they purposely try not to put that on there as well.
They will. They will look at you and say, just like how the enumerators would. Look at you and say, oh, you're black, and mark it down. But when you tell them no, put American Indian on there, and that ticket say Indian, you go straight to court, and they read that ticket and read that race. They are out of your jurisdiction. Out of your jurisdiction.
Ha. Ha.
Sounds like it's two governments, don't it? See, this is another reason why I wanted, I'm just saying, it's another reason why I wanted this stuff to go through, because I wanted y'all to see what I'm about to expose once this is over with. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all, and we lined them right up. I'm gonna just keep it like that. We lined them right up. Ain't gonna be no ifs, ands, or buts.
The legal precedence going forward is gonna be crazy.
I got video and audio. I'm gonna just say it that way. Video, audio.
Man, they did me like that in Nebraska. I didn't give them a United States state identification. I gave them my own identification of my Indian tribe that I had made for myself. They went and found records of the straw man and put that sucker down on the paper. I never identified as the straw man.
They're gonna try to do it automatically.
They automatically did it, and they put a warrant out for me because I didn't show up.
That's
they
what
didn't
you have
honor
to
my
fight.
Indian status.
That's what you got to fight for, your identity. It should be automatic, but we got to force them to make it automatic. That's if y'all still want to deal with this government. Yeah, I know me. Y'all know me.
I don't. Right as you're speaking, I'm putting your link in the chat like nobody don't know what it is, but telling people to please go to Dane's channel. I'm putting his link to his channel in the chat room and sign up for the 13%, please.
Somebody said, imagine taking legal advice from someone who thinks Harriet Tubman was fake.
Oh my God,
that my ass off.
That, you know what? That ain't nobody but Lex or one of them Pam Boo Boos.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is that I debunked Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner with records, not just thinking. I showed you legal documentation that she was a creation. She was literally created by an act of Congress.
And Dane, if that is not so, then why is Cynthia Erivo, a known descendant of Nigerian slavers, was picked to play this character?
Exactly. It's always
and we can't get mad at it because it's their character.
It's always a character. But see, once again, they don't want to. And I have a book out on this, by the way. It's called
but you know what,
False
Dane,
Heroes, False Hopes. Please get that book.
Excellent book. Please do not only purchase it, not to put a commercial on Chief Bethy's platform. The intriguing thing to me is these same Negroes who are commissioned, if that's the correct pronunciation, priests, and you know who's not being named, my good brother, say that they're the descendants of Uncle Tom and Jane Pittman. Actual fictional characters to profess they are Kizzy and Kunta, which in a lawsuit was awarded to a white man $650,000. Could you share that for Mr. Kemet TV? That's who made that scurrilous statement against you.
What's that guy's name? I forgot his name.
Coriander, I believe his name.
Yeah, Colander or Courtlander, something like that. Damn, I don't have that in front of me. But yeah, that was Alex Haley. That was being
for
sued
actual plagiarism.
For
correct?
Plagiarism, right?
Since other people who are insinuating that they're on the borderline of defaming your character, right, my good brother? I didn't want to get into it, but just since it was brought up from Mr. Kemet TV, Uncle Tom was loosely based on Josiah Henson, an actual person. Jane Pittman is not someone's ancestor, for you fools who believe in African slavery, and Kunta Kinte was not Alex Haley's ancestor. But go ahead, brother. You know, just here to make them think.
Yeah, that's when he tried to create the roots rather, and he got sued for that. And Courtlander won $650,000 for plagiarism. They were plagiarizing the stories that he wrote in his fictional book. Stole it from him. Alex Haley didn't write that story.
Damn.
Hey, but even in the movie Roots,
am I correct by saying that book is called The African?
Yeah, it's called The African.
The African and the American. Even in the Roots, in the movie, they made a difference between the both. When he brought him off the boat, he said, "Now you ain't seen." He said, "This is an African nigga. Now y'all ain't seen no African nigga before." Like, wait,
yeah.
what?
See?
Yeah,
See?
fool. In the movie,
there's
they
a
tell
lot
you.
you could catch. You got.
But Wolfie actually called him a Guinea man. You want to tell us about where Guinea is?
All right.
Did he mean Geechee?
I'm like, how you introduce a nigga to some other niggas and say y'all ain't seen an African nigga before? Well, how we get
What
here?
about his wife? Could get their wife? And she said, "I ain't no African."
Yeah, all up in the movie is showing you niggas we not African. So I don't even know how I don't know how niggas got lost in that without checking that part. You know what I'm saying?
Remember how them Africans, when they did the narration of Alex Haley going over to Africa and how all the Africans was looking at him? Remember, did y'all see that? And they was looking at him like, you ain't from here. He was talking. Did you see that?
I saw that. I had pictures of him having a sexual relationship with what's that producer's name that produced all of Michael Jackson's records on Off the Wall?
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
What?
And Quincy Jones is responsible to elevate Alex Haley roots.
Yeah,
that story, that movie.
He made the song.
And he funded slavevoyages.org.
Wow.
With somebody that looked like Alex Haley, don't he? What's his name?
And didn't Skippy reduce the number with his latest? You go ahead, bro. Slap it, flip it, rub it down. You on the roll. Go ahead.
Quincy Jones was in a sexual relationship with Alex Haley. But if you look at Alex Haley's twin,
I believe it.
I'm just saying. I got the pictures and everything. But Alex Haley's twin, who looks like Alex Haley? That was a part of starting and cultivating the slavevoyages.org. Huh? What's his name?
Hasn't Skip Gates reduced the number to what amount now, Dane, as we are speaking?
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you, and it was 32,000. But hold on, let me what's the guy's name, y'all? The one they pushed out to the forefront.
James L. Jones?
Obama?
It ain't
Henry. I'm gonna just say Henry.
Henry Louis Gates.
Henry Louis Gates. Don't Henry Louis Gates look like Alex Haley? Put the two pictures up.
Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. Damn, let me put it up.
Please put it up. Pull it up, Sister Betty, please.
Hold on.
Pull up a picture of Alex Haley and pull up a picture of Henry Louis Gates.
I don't know what these old clown ass niggas look like.
And Quincy Jones was behind both of them. He funded both of them. Funded both of the projects.
And by the way, he's on his deathbed giving all the secrets as well of what he's been doing, Quincy Jones.
Yes, he is. He sure is.
Put Michael Jackson, everybody, Marlon Brando. This man been over there in a lot of famous booty holes.
Henry Louis Gates.
It's got crazy.
And who else did you say pull up? Alex Haley.
Alex Haley.
Alex Haley. A hot mess. I'm about to share it, y'all. Oh my God.
So the number has dropped from 12 million to 5 million to 300,000 to 92,000. And it's what now, Dane?
It's either 36,000 or 32,000 right now.
Now that's Alex Haley. And
now remember, Chief, Henry Louis Skip Gates is trying to create the African American Dictionary with Oxford Collegiate Dictionary. Dane, I'm sure you probably have heard of that.
Yeah. Y'all see Henry Louis Gates?
Yep. I pull up another tab and pull up Henry Louis Gates. That's Alex Haley.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
Look, you're getting confused already.
I gotta reshare the screen.
So the Collegiate Dictionary of Oxford is trying to roll out an African American dictionary under the auspices of Henry Louis Skip Gates. Again, is that the deprivation of rights for us, Dane?
Which one?
To define an African American dictionary, to continue to define African Americanness. Is that the deprivation of rights to the only American?
Yeah.
I suggest there can be only one, Dane.
Yep.
Wow.
They're going against us. That's what they're set to do. Just like this guy here, they're getting paid to do that.
Yeah.
There's funds going towards them.
This is crazy.
And remember, don't forget that Henry Louis Gates Jr. had that show, right, on Finding, or was it Finding Your Roots? I think it was Finding Your Roots. Yeah, there you go, Finding Your Roots. And Quincy Jones produced that.
Damn.
Quincy Jones was all over this stuff.
Where's that brother from? West Philadelphia, born and raised in the playground is where he spent most of his days.
Quincy Jones produced that show.
But you, Dane, did you not share the clip, the joke in front of white people about how he wanted to be a Nubian prince, and he talked about being jealous of Quincy Jones in what you just described? But I don't want to take away from your thunder.
No, that's
brother.
true.
Keep rolling, bro.
That's exactly what I was about to mention. Right after she pulled up both of these pictures. Yeah, that's in one of the live streams or the videos, or it could have been both. But
there you go. I got both of it up now. Together. Now let me do a stop share screen.
Oh wait! Oh, that was a good picture. Somebody had them both side by side.
Yeah, I did. I'm about to put it back up. I had to do. Can you see it now?
Yeah, you look at the picture down. Look, come down a little bit. You see Alex Haley and Henry Louis Gates right beside each other. Those two pictures down, right there on that row, right there. Yep, those two.
Wow.
Hey, well, Quincy Jones definitely got a type, don't he?
He got a type, don't he?
Wow. I'm done. Damn.
Now, on this section of Bussy discussions, did he not make a crack about not just rolling up in Marlon Brando, but that he would fornicate with a mailbox? I believe that's paraphrasing the quote. But
what?
This is Quincy Jones, whoever that was it Pickens? Anthony L. was talking about him rolling on his deathbed and doing all of this. Would you share the facts? Because I don't want to repeat.
Oh, turn your
gossip.
camera on, Chief Eagle Eye.
And the fact that he's telling about all the famous men that he has been with over his career and years in his industry. You know, the Tevin Campbells, you know, the Michael Jacksons.
Even he mentioned Richard Pryor?
That is correct. He did mention Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor even told on himself in a stage show when he was saying he was at a party and he was doing coke and he turned around, his wife was getting done, and then he was getting done.
Yeah, they had those types of parties. Cat Williams alluded to that too.
Yeah, Richard Pryor said that out of his own mouth.
Cat Williams also alluded to those parties also. Remember, that's how Cat Williams got popular.
How?
He was talking about that party. He was talking about those same type of parties.
That was fact.
Pimp Chronicles was the name of that his DVD. Pimp Chronicles.
And I have to
hey, you don't remember when he said Professor? Is that Professor Ogilvy?
Ogilvy, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. What was the Richard Pryor was
standing over here?
Yep. Great. I can't remember what her name was, but she's a famous actor. And she can't have any children supposedly because Richard Pryor was doing cocaine and putting it on his genitals and having intercourse with her and preventing her from having children. I can't remember her name. It's at the tip of my tongue.
That sounds familiar. I just can't think right away about that one.
I'm not sure if it's Grace Jones. What is her name? The last movie that I know.
You're not talking about when he was with Pam Grier.
There you go, Pam Grier. There you go. That's her name.
He went with Pam Grier, Richard Pryor.
Oh, they were very infamous in their loving. Don't forget, you don't remember Grease Lightning? The movie Grease Lightning.
Hell yes.
Where he played the actual black race car driver. Now, that was based on a true story. A NASCAR black race car driver. And Pam Grier played his wife in that. Grease Lightning.
They
were literally all in bed together.
That was a really, really good movie, by the way.
Yeah, it was. But you know, what are they? Jane Kennedy? I mean, they was throwing women around back then like they do today.
Hell yeah,
everybody was sleeping with all of them.
The casting couch started then.
And Jane Kennedy probably was the first one to be on the casting couch. If y'all don't remember, she was the first one to make that VHS tape showing everybody her and Leon back in the day.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that was Jane Kennedy, not Pam Grier.
Right. Yeah.
No, he means Leon Isaac Kennedy, her actual husband. But Pam Grier was with Richard Pryor.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
They
Leon
was
Kennedy.
wife swapping.
Wow.
You know, I mean, just the nature of Hollywood back in those days.
They was
like,
husband. They was husband swapping too.
Hey man, you got to keep it real. We can't leave your boy Paul Mooney out, man. He was all in them circles.
And that other handsome one.
Said that,
I mean, you know,
what's his name? Harry
just call it what it is. You know, all of our icons.
Great Richard Pryor's son. That's what Richard Pryor said himself on fire.
Yeah, they said that Paul Mooney did some inappropriate stuff to Richard Pryor's son as an adolescent.
Oh wow!
Wow. I just know it's some lot of rituals going on over there in Hollywood. A lot
and
of
don't forget,
stuff.
Hugh Hefner and the mansion was the crime scene.
You know that I'm telling you that Hunter Biden
Bill
laptop,
Cosby was
all
there.
of that stuff is coming out, man. I mean, a lot of these famous rituals and things like that stuff is coming to light. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be probably a couple of years before some real.
But now, when you say Hunter, don't
stuff.
forget Wiener. The actual
Anthony
Wiener. And to be Epstein, that still ain't talk about the Black Book. But I'm sorry, we're going down the wrong rabbit hole now. I'm sorry, Chief Morning Thunder. I'm sorry, Chief Morning Thunder. Let me bring it back to 42 USC 1983. How are the rights of the Aboriginal Niji being deprived, my good master teacher?
By more ways than one. The first thing is their identity. That's number one. Their natural right to identify as who they are, as who they really are, versus going off of what statement is given by some foreigner. That's a natural born foreigner. Anybody that's claiming that they are a native. We're going to have to talk about this later, man. We're going to have to talk about this later.
Hey, it's me. Well, I've been out for 3.5 hours. I'm ready to get up out of this piece.
Master teacher, I can't again say to you enough for giving this opportunity. Thank you for your valuable time. You're not just here to make us think. How about now I'm just here to make you act.
Right. Right. That's what it is now. I mean, that's what it's been. I mean, of course, I got to still make people think, but it is about action. It's about taking action against these things that are against us. I agree.
Family,
I've been trying to share it and, get people aware. The time is now, though. I'm glad that that's happening, though. It's happening slowly, but it's happening. Because this is the reason why we're getting so much backlash from those people that are upset. They want to claim that I'm this, claim that Sister Bethy's that, and we know it's working.
Yep, it's working. And I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, I seen somebody just brought up Clyde Davis. He was one of them, too, that was getting around.
Oh, yeah. He's a weirdo, man. He's freaky.
Now he was.
Don't forget, he participated or activated a mother and a child dying in a bathtub. Now, I can't declare that.
That's crazy.
How many of us and our intellectual properties are owned by this small hat ish MF?
Yeah, that's a big topic right there. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a big topic.
Before she died, she was suing for her masters.
She was, just like everybody else was. Prince was too.
And Coolio.
Wow.
And Coolio. That's right. But Michael Jackson was also, he did get his, but guess who got it back? They took it from Michael Jackson's estate.
Sony.
Sony got it back.
Oh,
Sony is
wow.
getting ready to release a thriller documentary as we're speaking, good young brother.
And his
Yep.
estate is being sued again.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, he's being sued again. Yes.
They're trying to get him from touching on somebody else again all of a sudden.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
And the man is dead. That is terrible.
And Michael Jackson is gone, and they still doing it.
Well, what do you think is happening with Bill Cosby?
I believe Bill Cosby was innocent. You know, I have a whole documentary on Bill Cosby.
Hey man, I think he's innocent as well.
I do too.
Well, Bill was hanging out at the Playboy Mansion now.
Bill, no, don't get me wrong. Bill was doing his thing, but everything that he was doing was consensual.
Correct. That's
Look, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. How come his wife ain't leave him?
Back.
Bomb drop.
I'm serious. Yeah, Cuddy, where the bombs?
I'm on my phone. Hey,
the
man.
only reason why they locked him up is because they used a deposition that they wasn't supposed to use during his trial. But that was all due to the Philadelphia prosecutor. I mean, the Philadelphia governor at that time that was trying to reelect himself
and pushing the LBGT agenda.
Yeah, cancel culture, but of course they pushed it, but it was definitely due to that deposition that wasn't supposed to be used, that was signed off from both parties, that was supposed to be private, that they used the court, and Bill Cosby lawyers brought that back up and said, hey, this wasn't supposed to be used, this case should be dropped, and it was, and they let him go. That's how he's out of jail right now. Wasn't no cop and no plea and nothing like that.
But Dane, now you know why they say you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride or the time.
Yeah, and the time. Yeah, if somebody's right. He was trying to buy NBC. I brought that up in the documentary.
Yeah,
but
you did.
But hold up.
They got rid of his son because of that.
Son innocent. Go ahead, brother.
They got rid of his son because of that.
You cooking?
Hold up. He also has huge oil reserves under his property as well.
That's correct. Also, he has a lot of oil on his property. They were trying to own his estate because of that. That's true. That is absolutely true. Same thing with Netherlands, by the way.
That is correct. How do we lose our estates? Like being convicted as a criminal, which means slavery.
But a lot of our people were messing up by not noticing the difference between a private trust and a public estate. You put your estate in a private trust, they can't touch it.
But no one taught him that.
Nah, they didn't know. I'm surprised that Michael Jackson didn't know.
We're still what you call feeble-minded, right?
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
That is why they call you a minor, Chief Morning Thunder.
Yeah,
that is why they call you a minor, and they make you a ward of the state.
Agreed. And give your parents guardianship rights.
Let me go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. I enjoyed this talking, though.
Me too. I'm about to get up out of here.
Man, salute, Dane.
Much love, Dane. Appreciate what you done.
Unblock me.
Salute to each and every one of y'all.
Salute everybody. Much love.
Peace.
I appreciate y'all. We'll do it again.
Master teacher, just keeping them, keep making them think, and we'll work on making us act. And I yield.
There you go.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Thanks, Sister Betty.
Yes. Hey, Cut,
take care, Sister Betty. We're gonna talk soon, okay?
I hope.
Once I get back, when we touch down, we're gonna have a conversation, okay?
Okay, but could you unblock me?
We with you 100%. We with you 100%, bro.
Block where? What you talking?
Unblock me and get my wrench back. You know I cry when I don't have my wrench.
My son is in control of my YouTube channel until I get back.
Oh, okay.
But I got you. I got you. We're gonna talk.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He big Dane now.
I know. Damn. Years went by fast. 4 years went by. God.
Yeah. He up there now.
Well, look, I'm out of here. Love and utmost respect to each and every one of y'all.
So I could get that man showing his pee-pee on my thing.
Oh shit. Okay, just give me a call, Sister Beth.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in private so it don't show up.
Yeah, please put on private.
All right, my elders, y'all be good, man. I appreciate y'all.
Okay,
we appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
I'm about to go.
Everybody have a good evening. Much love and respect.
Thanks, y'all. This was fire, man.
You too, brother.
This was real fire, y'all. For real. I'm about to get up out of here too.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense, but nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion, we probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.